90 points.
They keep telling me chill, queen.
1 2 1 2.
Now I'm about to permit a multiple responses, lyrical pox in your real meaning. I'm ill. I will not heal. I am from Shop Shot in DC. That means I only know how to go.
It's my cut.
On a marquee getting properly built. Cause stop it, a part of my stock on my bill. No man. I'ma keep this campaign up till rock for breads and grains. The popular dress, no gan. That's word. Goddamn, see. I want you to levitate. My shit don't just medicate. One no coke, I broke a leg of stain and for out digger magic to celebrate. I would try to cut these night great MCs to a suitable size.
90.7 WTCC FM. My name is D.Moss. Can everybody hear me clearly? Uh-oh, I can't hear me.
Oh, James gave the thumbs up.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Let's get you on, man.
They're loud and clear.
Well, all right. All right, y'all. My name is D.Moss. I got my man Rob Jones in the background. MBS Malay is in the room as well. And we're going to get started with our first guest. Mr. James, City Councilor candidate James Ryan. I was going to say Mr., but I'm going with the City Councilor candidate. Here it is. He is running at large. Mr. Ryan's going to be joining us today to talk about why he's running. We don't have specific questions. You know how we do here. It's laid-back conversations. We want you to get to know the candidate. We are not here to drill them, grill them, promote anybody. We just want you to get an opportunity to meet the personalities behind the name. So first up, we're going to throw City Councilor candidate James Ryan on deck. Talk to us, man. How are you?
Hey, look, Mom, on TV, radio.
Look at this. I know, right?
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, no, doing just fine. Thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate it. And I have to say it's a little bit refreshing coming off of a slew of forums, debates, meet and greets, everything else. Just having the opportunity to sit down and have a real conversation is definitely refreshing. Anyway, I'm James Ryan. Biggest reason I'm running for city council, we have hundreds of millions of dollars that are coming into the city, variety of investment. And we have an opportunity here to get things right. We've seen the COVID-19 pandemic hit us especially hard because of a variety of deeply rooted, long-running generational issues we've been facing for a long time, especially in terms of public health, and especially in terms of housing and economic opportunity. And so we've seen entire communities that time and time again have been left out of any sort of recovery, of any sort of rebuilding. And so I think it's critical that we have leaders, that we have city councilors, especially those with budget power, who are going to come in and say, hey, our spending has not been in alignment with what our values ought to be. So that's a big part of it. Another aspect is, I just want to give back. Springfield's my home. It's a place where, especially somebody my age, you think about the millennial generation, and we joke about how the American dream is really just a dream for so many of us. The ability to say, I own a house, I'm married, I have a child, I have a 3-month-old, and thankfully or at least hopefully she's going to sleep through all of this. Just be able to say that I can do that and I have that opportunity has been huge. And that was only made possible by being here in Springfield. I've got a good paying job. I'm a teacher. This is the place where I started my career. And this is the place I plan on ending it. Hopefully 25 to 30 years down the line. And I would say that as a teacher and as a father, there's so much that teachers really wish that we could do for our students and for their families outside of what we do in the classroom. We look at, the fact that 1 out of every 2 Springfield Public Schools students knows what it's like to face eviction. That number is way too high. There should be no students in Springfield Public Schools that know what it's like to face eviction. The job opportunities, what we're creating for them once they graduate. I have too many students who have said, what are your plans for after graduating college? They said, we're going to get the heck out of Springfield. And so looking at everything, I say, there's so much that teachers wish that we could be doing. And then I figured, some of us really ought to give this city council thing a shot, because then we can make that happen. And so I guess that's why I'm running. I'm in this to give back. I'm in this to provide opportunities for my students and for their families. I'm in this to build a Springfield that my daughter gets to grow up in happily, healthily, with so much opportunity out there for her to succeed. And I'm running because I want to get it right. I want to get it right for everybody.
All right. So I appreciate that. And I'm happy you're running, because I think that is a democratic process. The more people that run, the more objective the candidates, the platforms become, the more diverse they become. So I appreciate that. So I had a question, but I just went blank. You want to talk about old age? It just slipped. So here we
worries.
Go. So as you talk about, the number of Springfield Public School students who can identify with evictions, bottom line is we're talking about poverty. We're talking about poverty on a large rate. We're talking about, the institutional effects of racism and classism. So it hits everyone, regardless of race, creed, color, religion, doesn't matter. It hits us all. As a city councilor, what do you think you can do? Like, what do you plan on bringing to the table to counter that? How do we move past that in terms of city leadership?
I think a big part of it, and this is one thing where it's not just my own personal philosophies, it's also the campaign trail that I've led. I've had the opportunity to knock on doors in literally every neighborhood in every section of Springfield, and just talking to people, having real conversations. And if I didn't have those, if I wasn't out there everywhere, I would have gone into all of this. And also, if I hadn't been teaching around here for as long as I have, I would have gone into all of this with my own experience, with my own perspective. And that's of a white guy who grew up, well, middle class at best at times, and at some points, living off of the generosity of others, but nonetheless a very limited scope. And so in listening to folks and talking with folks and having these very real conversations, I can talk about my platform and a big focus on looking at the future of development and making sure that we're prioritizing local and minority-owned business in our contracts and in our development and how we build out districts. Looking at, housing shortage, the fact that we are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of units short, the cost of living is going up too high, but that may not be something that everybody is keenly aware of, especially if you're already doing well for yourself. And looking at anything, including, roads and transport, accessibility, until you actually, I can't say that that I live the life of everybody here in Springfield, but the bare minimum, I can listen to them and give them a genuine ear and say, I'm here to represent you. I'm here to represent your interests. I'm here to take what you say seriously and translate that into policy.
Okay. And I know you read, this isn't your first run for public office. Do you want to talk a little bit about the background and the things you've done in the past, or you just want to focus it and limit it to what you plan to do here in the city of Springfield?
Yeah, I can talk about the time that I've spent in office before. I previously, speaking about that millennial dream, trying to find your way in the world and finding not only the greatest economic opportunity for yourself, but also trying to find, a roof over your head that's going to be affordable. And so that's led me in a variety of ways in places that I've served in office before, ranging from, a transit village of about 5,000 people where I've been in charge of economic opportunity and building out storefronts and addressing zoning and budgeting, about 5,000 people there. I could talk about, working on an alcohol and other drugs advisory board, and part of a larger continuum of care coalition where we provided services to a county of about 1.1 million people. Wow. So that's the kind of work that I'm used to doing, is addressing pretty much all the same stuff that city councilor does here in Springfield.
Yep.
And I'm saying even a little bit more sometimes. And so when I come into this, it's saying, this isn't anything inherently new. It's just the first time that I would be elected to do it. I've been appointed before, but never been elected.
Which is why I had to bring that up, because I want people to understand that you're not new to this. Typically, when you have a new challenger coming in, running for city politics, the incumbents will focus on the fact that you're new, you're green, you don't really understand the process, but you've dealt with budgets. As we talk about, institutionalized poverty here in the city of Springfield, you've worked on those issues. You worked on those challenges, going all the way back to high school and up. You've been there. You've been a part of it. You're not just, like, as you said, just another white guy coming along saying, listen, man, can we get your votes? I promise I would be there for you. And then after the election, you disappear. Like, we have a number of politicians who do. You've been there. And I just wanted people to understand that. And I needed them to hear that from you. So we have about 2 minutes left before we move to the next. I just wanted to make sure people got a chance to meet James Ryan. What else do we need to know? People are voting next week.
Hey, can I ask him a question?
I don't know why not. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here comes the trouble
Let's
right
go.
now.
God,
Here
dog.
comes the trouble. Go for it.
So James, you said something earlier on in the conversation that resonated with me that I think is critically important: economics, right? And you kind of talked about your field of knowledge being around economics and dollars, and you talked about the millions of dollars coming into the city of Springfield. And I'm curious, as you see, I use this as an example: Build Back Better policy. You see all the pork in that. What are some of your ideas of where you want to divert that money based on how you answered finding out some of the issues and challenges within the city? Like, where would you want to divert some of those funds, and how would you divert those funds effectively to make sure it doesn't fall in the wrong hands or doesn't get distributed ineffectually?
I would even say in an inequitable manner too.
Yeah.
I almost was going to say back when the Biden administration touted Build Back Better, I went, darn it, they stole the phrase I was going to use. I said, but now I can't use it. Oh, well. But nonetheless, now we have an opportunity. It's all about building back better. It's about addressing areas of opportunity. We have to be looking at where are homes most in need of repair and renovation. Which neighborhoods are most in need of new business? Where are neighborhoods most in need of cleaner air and cleaner water, or houses that can be eradicated of black mold? Where are areas where we could be expanding transportation opportunities and connect the city in ways we haven't seen before? Where can we be putting money into behavioral health and mental health services, especially after what COVID-19, the pandemic, has done to us? And recognizing, even within behavioral health and public health in general, recognizing that racial equity needs to be a cornerstone to all of this. We need to be looking again. Springfield was hit especially hard by COVID-19, but even when I say that, it's not all of Springfield. It's the Black and brown communities that have been hit hardest by COVID-19, economically, health-wise, everything. And so we need to be making sure that the money that we're bringing in, that we're investing, is going to go to those areas first and foremost, and that they finally see the recovery that they've been missing out on for generations. I hope I answered your question.
That does answer my question.
5 minutes.
And it sounds great. And I'm not trying to imply that, you're speaking in platitudes. It's, these funds come in, and we always see this, and not just Springfield, but other communities, other districts, other towns, et cetera, municipalities, where the funds come in and they're not handled properly, or they're supposed to be earmarked somewhere, but they're earmarked to the wrong organizations that are not doing what they purport to do for those communities. So I think there needs to be some checks and balances in there. And I don't know if your approach is a more holistic approach in terms of lasering in, like what you indicated on those communities and those areas that need help. But how do we make sure that they get the help? How do we monitor that? How do we build out outcomes to make sure and ensure that what is supposed to be done is getting done?
Yeah, of course. And as you mentioned, checks exactly on power of those who may say, hey, if we're getting all this money in and we're going to say, oh yeah, we're going to be doing all these great things with it. But then we go off and buy a couple of properties here and there that don't seem to have anything to do with the recovery, and especially in areas that need it most. I think I'm picking up what you're laying down.
I'm glad you're picking it up, man.
That gives me this little veil here. We're good. Yeah.
So this is 90.7 WTCC FM Monday Night Live with D.Moss. I got Rob Jones and MBS Malay in the studio. We're on with City Council candidate James Ryan. Take a moment, go check out his website. You want to share all your information? How can people contact you these last couple of days as you kind of get that push on to get the vote out? How can people reach you? Talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So website, Ryan for Springfield. That's Ryan, the number 4 Springfield.com. You can also reach me at ryan4springfield@gmail.com or at 413-274-7926. So that's a campaign line. Feel free to contact. Yeah, we're in the home stretch. If you want a lawn sign, we got a couple more left for folks. If you want to volunteer, feel free. And that's about as much as I can ask for without breaking Massachusetts general law. So we're good. Certain things that public employees can't talk about.
And me violating FCC regulations.
There we go. Exactly. Exactly.
Same vibes. James, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Wish we can go longer, but we have a whole bunch of interviews lined up. So I'm going to say good luck. And again, congratulations on being the new dad. Girl dads forever.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for having me, folks. And thank you for the questions and the opportunity to introduce myself.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
See, next up, we have, let's see, Ayana Crawford and Regina Hudson. Ayana is running for school committee. Is she with us? I see her backstage, but I don't see her. So, good evening, Mona Jordan Reed. Good evening, Ashley Rodriguez. Hey, Ashley. Cruising be cruising. Yo, that's a dope name. I'm digging it. What's up? What's up?
What's up, guys?
All right, y'all. This is 90.7 WTCC FM Monday Night Live with D.Moss. We are on now with school committee candidate Ayana Crawford. I believe she's running in Ward 8 against Peter Murphy. Hey, Ms. Crawford, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody who you are?
Thank you so much, and good evening to everybody. My name is Ayana Crawford. I'm a mom, a grandma now. I am a lover of Springfield. Went to Springfield Public Schools, graduated class of 91, Golden Eagles. Went to Westfield State College, got my BA in psychology, went to Springfield College, got my master's degree there, and just have been, in the community, helping, doing different programming, working with girls. It's Your Turn, Take the Mic public speaking program. Have worked with nonprofit organizations, have worked in the media world, have worked with several different organizations, just sort of behind the scenes, helping to sort of push our community forward. And so it's just been a delight to live here. I have a legacy here. My mother is a registered nurse. She was a community health nurse back in the early 80s. My grandmother was a nurse as well. She opened up a nursing home back in the early 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. So there's just been a lot of great things in our city, of great women and men in our family that have done some great things. So I just decided, because it's important that we have people that really understand our community, representing them on the school board. And so rather than just sort of talk about it on the sidelines and not really sort of be a part of the game or be a part of that process, I said, you know what, I need to be there so that I can understand how to better help our community and then collaborate with the current city, the school committee women that are on there, to be sort of a force with them and to help collaborate with them so that we can get more information out to our community. And so I'm here, and it's been a real interesting journey thus far.
Okay. Questions, Rob?
Yeah.
Malay,
So,
anybody? Go for it.
No, you go first.
so how you doing, Ayana? I've always seen you around. I was shocked to see you at the Black Business Expo in Boston. I was like, oh, snap. You came all the way down from Springfield. It was good to see you. One of the questions I have, and you kind of touched upon it in terms of your reason for running, was there anything in particular that you were kind of like, okay, enough is enough? If I want change, I need to be the change. So let me run. Was there like something in particular or a focal point that kind of inspired you to run?
I think there's a multitude of things, but in terms of pinpointing something, I'm very concerned about this idea of the prison to pipeline with our youth. I'm concerned about the resource officers in our schools, very much so that, I think we need to reevaluate that. And I'm very concerned about that. I'm very concerned about our Black and brown children not getting what they need in our schools. I'm concerned about some of our special ed students, especially our life skills students that are not getting the resources that they need. I'm also concerned about the mental health concerns for our children in our schools. And then just communication with our parents around COVID and how we've not been doing a really good job in terms of making sure our parents understand the process and the protocols and, you know, what needs to happen in terms of that. So I jumped in because not only do I want to collaborate with the current school committee, but I also want to make sure that we have more voices that are fighting for those same issues. And we really need to look at what are those resource officers doing.
Yeah, it's interesting you talked about the resource officers because you don't see them in the charter public schools. And not to say that the charter public schools don't have some of the same issues that the Springfield public schools have, but I think they tend to take a more family-oriented approach. Like, we're going to handle and deal with this in-house if we need. Springfield Police Department, and we already know what their record's like, so we don't need to touch upon that right now. But if we need them, we'll call them in. Otherwise, you know, we're going to have more social workers. We're going to have maybe, you know, more males on staff that kind of, you know, release some of that testosterone tension. So I like what you're saying, and it's interesting because I'm not calling anybody out, but that's not really the cadence that I hear from other Springfield School Committee members. I think the one thing that we talked on the show a lot about this was the unfettered, unfiltered access to the school camera systems that the Springfield Police Department has. And that was just kind of like done under the cover of darkness, you know, during COVID. There was nothing that really sparked, you know, even introducing that policy. It was just done, and we know who that's targeting. So the fact that you're talking about those concerns about the Black and brown kids, because a lot of these policies or lack thereof are impacting them.
Was there a question with that?
No, he had no
Right?
question. You know, right? So I don't exactly have a question, but I just wanted to say I do see your name a lot. I did not have the chance to get to meet you yet, but I will one day. And I just wanted to, I do have a young son. He's 11 years old in the system and everything. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you're doing. It's always great to see a Black queen leading the community and everything. So yeah, just keep going. Keep going. And I can't wait to meet you. So, yeah. Don't start with me, Daryl. You know, you look at, he's always trying to start. Listen, you know, I can't, right?
Black queen.
I said I didn't have
sister.
a question. I didn't have
I didn't say that. I just looked at you.
Right, you see, but you know, just be quiet because it's not even my turn yet to get.
No. You my co.
Don't play with me.
So far, Yana, I'm gonna do this. All right. Here we go.
Don't be getting us kicked off the radio. I mean, off the Facebook.
That's the goddess. That's the goddess thing, man. That's what the Black goddess is. See?
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to raise it up.
I'm just saying.
Dang, I can't win.
Kicked off the Facebook
So,
Live.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel like, I guess my daughter brought up today, she's in pre-K, she has to wear a uniform. How do you feel about uniforms?
Well, you know, it's for universality, for consistency. Yeah, let's all wear a uniform. Let's all be the same. But the other piece, you know, is, you know, we're all individuals, right? And we want to be able to be ourselves. And so I think that, you know, sometimes, and, you know, wearing a uniform, you can't be yourself. You can't be who you are, you know, because you're looking like everybody else. And so I want to look at that too. I want to look at this policy of the uniform policy that actually came about when Antoinette Pepe, God rest her soul, was a part of the school board or school committee. She thought about creating that particular policy. Some parents like it, some parents don't. You know, I would want to take a survey and look at where we at now. This is 2021. You know, do parents feel that it's necessary? Do parents feel that it's important? And so I'd like to see the parents sort of say to us, should we continue with the uniform policy? And if not, why? You know? So I really want to put the onus on the parents for that one.
Okay, good one. Go ahead. You had something else?
Yeah. So another
Is
thing
the
you
question-
said.
Is it going to be a
Is
question
it a question?
I'm gonna say,
or a dissertation?
the other thing that you just said that resonated was survey. You see that a lot of these policies are enacted in a vacuum. So I haven't heard anyone else talk about surveying the parents, and surveying is not surveying 10 parents and out of a district that has thousands. So I think getting that feedback and that input is critically important, and also getting them at the same time getting them involved with PTO, because that's another initiative that seems to be very difficult at times.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because years ago I had this vision that we would have this sort of citywide PTO, right? Every school, every parent from every district or every school would be at this one large meeting, and we would all sort of go into breakout sessions, and all the 6th grade parents would be together, all the 7th grade parents would be together, but we would have one big night. We would do this, right? So I think there is this notion that we've got to resurrect, right, the PTO. We've got to resurrect parent involvement and community engagement, and not just sort of a catchword, right? This is real stuff, right? We need to actively engage our parents, right? Actively participate in our schools, not come out to when there's a dance thing, not come out when there's a cool talent show, but come out and check in with your teacher of your child and see how your child is doing. And so I'd like to sort of look at that and see what the schools are doing to really engage their parents, whether it be a PTO, the parent facilitators, whatever it might be. But I think we have to do a little bit better, creating a better, robust community and parent engagement in our school system.
All right, I agree with that. I'm just gonna throw three, just for the sake of time. I'm gonna throw 3 things at you. The superintendent of school, Dan Warwick. Every year he seems to get a raise while the teachers are struggling to pay their mortgages, their rents. They're not really getting the cost of living increases that they should be getting, in contrast to what he gets. This year he was given a bonus, that $5,000, COVID bonus that a lot of city employees got, and a lot of the teachers, a lot of the educators who worked hard to reach their students did not. So I'm just kind of curious about, how do you feel about Dan Warwick's annual raise? Second question is, there are students who go to school and they, who still attend city schools that do not have books. They're not taking books home. I'm old school. I grew up doing homework, got the whoopings when I didn't do my homework. My mom was able to make sure that I understood, the subject matter, because we had books. How do you feel about, what do you plan to do as a school committee member to address the fact that some students do not have books? That's the second one. Third one is, what are we going to do about dumping ground schools? Kylie, Commerce, Kennedy. Kylie and Commerce for years were breeding grounds for gangs. There was more gang activity in those 2 schools alone, along with Kennedy, than there were on the streets of Mason Square, the North End and the South End. So school committee in the past has failed to address it. Antoinette Pepe attempted to address it with the school uniforms, saying let's eliminate the game colors, I kind of agreed with her at the time, but it's something that we need to reassess. So let's talk about Warwick's raise, books and resources, and then the dumping ground schools.
Damn, he gave you a dissertation, man.
No,
Right,
but
that's
it
what I
was
was saying, right?
no.
I was thinking that same thing.
But I had-
Did you write that down?
I thought, right. I thought
I get
that was
it.
quick boom, boom, boom
First
questions.
of all-
He said,
First of all, I think I've known this woman for about almost 30 years.
I
So
know
she
can
knows I ask long questions, but I
That
think
was
she gets my
some
gist.
long questions, bro.
Yes, I do. So I get you, Daryl. I got you. So first, yes, he's fine. He's fine. So first of all, Daryl, I appreciate those questions, right?
Yep.
Those are critical questions. And so my first inclination and first thought is, where's his evaluation? Has it been publicly given out to the public?
Ooh.
Do we as the public, teachers, parents, stakeholders, do we know his evaluation?
Right.
That would be my first thing. Can we make it public? And so if in fact we still have some concerns with current schools that he's supposed to be advising us on and managing, that they're still failing or there's some issues of those, then I would need to take a critical look at his schools that he says he's over, whether or not that raise is valid, right? And we have to bring in more people to look at, and I'm a survey girl, okay, to make an evaluation. Now we can get stakeholders, community folks to evaluate our superintendent. There's no reason why we can't do that if we haven't already. And now I'm not trying to create a new protocol. I'm not trying to create a new system, but I'd like to know if that's happening. And if it's not, then perhaps we need to do that. And so if we're not looking at equity in terms of our teachers, making sure that they're getting a cost of living raise, making sure that they are getting raises, then why should we be then giving our superintendent a raise when we're still having struggle in our schools?
Yep.
You know, and so that's a concern of mine. You know, and if anyone has any valid reason on, you know, making a clear-cut vote on whether or not he gets a raise, whether or not looking at his evaluation or surveying the community or the stakeholders that are a part of this process of making those decisions, then shame on us. Shame on us that we've allowed this to happen.
Okay.
The other piece in terms of books, as a mother and as a Springfield Public School graduate, I'm very concerned that we don't have adequate books, not only adequate books, but we have outdated books. We have outdated books that are not relevant to the curriculum that we're using. We're saying that we are addressing this particular subject matter, but this particular book that we have does not address that, and it's outdated, and it should not be in cycle, if you will. It shouldn't be a part of our repertoire in terms of our books, if you will. So I need to look at that. I'd like to look at, you know, why aren't enough students getting to be able to take their books home? What's the issue? Did we not order enough? What's the problem? That's a serious problem for me. Especially since we have most of our books you can get online. You can access the websites. You can download tons and tons of information from those particular books. However, if you want a hard copy, you should be able to have that.
I agree.
So I'd like to look at that. So that's a great point. And we have to move with the times. We can't keep on, 30 years ago, keeping the same curriculum or keeping the same books. Everything has changed. So you're right. Why don't children have books to take home or having access to get those books if they need to go online? And that would mean that they would need to have a computer, right? They would need to have internet, right? And some of our students don't even have that. And that's another issue, but we can talk about that later if anyone wants to ask me a question on that.
Okay.
The last piece that you mentioned, and which is, can you share that question again?
Yeah, see, we had a side bet back there, Ayana.
She was on a roll.
We had a side bet.
She just wanted clarification. She got this.
I bet you she got to forget the last question. I said, no, she not. She put your shake on it. And you didn't
She
shake on it.
$20.
You didn't shake on it.
So just clarify that last question.
I got you. We've had dumping ground schools where they've taken middle schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess who they would consider to be the worst of the bunch. Everybody goes to commerce, and it's like anybody can go to commerce, but you damn near have to be a rocket scholar to go to Central. And the principal has a lot of say in terms of who attends and who doesn't. Whereas you have Kylie middle school, dumping ground. You have commerce dumping ground, Kennedy dumping ground. And I think people need to be aware of that. I don't know how many calls I would receive over the last 12 years in regards to people who did not want their kids attending those schools, and they'd have to fight tooth and nail to get their kids in a reputable school. And I think all of our schools should be equal par. In terms of the violence, number of fights that took place in the past in those particular schools, it was off the charts. And that's where they would send those kids with behavioral challenges before they hit the alternative school route. How do you plan to address that after you look into it, of course?
Haha. You know me. So it's all about best practices, right? Looking
Yep.
at other schools around the country, seeing how things are being done. I know years ago, Springfield Public Schools and the school committee had mentioned about doing what they call isolating 8th grade, right? And making that just an academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then putting their 6th and 7th graders together. So I think we need to look at isolating and doing more academies and more specialized programs and more specialized children schools,
Okay.
because I don't think we can continue, like you're mentioning, making these schools like dumping grounds. Like, okay, they just came into the city, you're going to Kylie or you're going to this school. I don't think we can't do that anymore.
Correct.
So I think we need to create more specialized middle schools where we're focused on like how we do at the high school. So we do science and technology, we do college prep, we do business. So I think we need to take that model with our middle schools and create a more strategic plan around a really nice model. So if we're going to do arts and magnet school, we're going to do science and technology for middle school. We've got to isolate them and make them more fundamentally attractive for families and for students. And really sort of the numbers have got to come down too. We can't just keep on, increasing them, because our middle schools have way too many students in them right now. So we've got to either create more schools, create more isolated themed-based schools where they're science and technology, business, career, whatever it might be. But we have to have some overarching theme for these schools, because they can't just be, like you mentioned, just these dumping grounds. Okay, you're going to go to this school this year. They're going to go there. No, let's get the students excited. Who would ever think that we would have, maybe out of Springfield, we'll have some astronauts. So why not we have have NASA come in and say, you know what? Why don't we make an 8th grade NASA science and technology, and all these students that really like science and want to explore the world, you're going to that school. How about those students that want to be in robotics? Okay,
Right.
Let's get those 7th graders excited. Let's do a robotics theme school, get them excited, get them enrolled, and make sure those numbers are down too, so that we're not overpopulating or overcrowding them, right? And we get those teachers that are really vast in science and technology and all that in those schools. So I think we have to do a better job in recreating the wheel, thinking differently, thinking outside the box in terms of where we want to go in the future, because we know that NASA, science and technology is the way to go. We don't have enough schools that are doing that. Our children can thrive in those environments if we allow them and if we give them that opportunity. So I would suggest creating more theme-based middle schools, give them the curriculum that's more exciting, decrease the enrollments so that we can have more robust academics going on rather than the issues that you're talking about.
Okay. My last question, then we're going to move on to the next. Thank you. Excuse me?
Huh?
I didn't think so. So,
Jesus.
last question. Your opponent is the type of person who sits at the table and acts as if he's an employee of Dan Warwick and Dominic Sarno. How do you plan to go about your business as a school committee member representing Ward 8, which is my ward, while you're on the school committee? Are you going to be an elected official and fight back, challenge the things that you feel need to be challenged, or are you just going to be, talk to me? Talk to me. Tell everybody what you're going to do. I already know. I'm just wondering what you're going to do. Go for it.
So this is going to be, I'm going to be representing District 4, Wards 2 and 8. And so I've been on the doors talking to the citizens and really hearing from them and listening to them. So when and if in fact the voters make the decision on who they want to represent, and I hope that it's me, that I'm going to go back on those doors. Yep. I'm going to create some opportunities to survey folks, right? To see what it is that we can do collaboratively. And I'm not beholden to anyone. The only person that I'm beholden to is the Lord that I serve, right? And so I have to do the right thing regardless. And so I'm going to be an independent voice for our community.
Say that one more time. Or what voice?
I'm going to be an independent voice for our community.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. We're good. Say it one more time. Or what?
I'm going to be an independent voice for our community.
Okay. We good, everybody?
I love it.
I had a bunch of other questions, but you filibustered, so I'm
Yeah,
good.
Your questions are not questions, Rob.
Yeah, they're not
what
questions.
you talking
Go ahead,
about?
Rob. Ask what.
No, I'm just.
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob. Ask the question.
No, go ahead, Boehner. You got it. Ayana.
I don't know where that came from.
Boehner.
Damn.
David Banner. Thank you.
No.
All right, Ayana. Is there anything else you'd like to share in terms of getting people to make sure they come out and support you on November 2nd? What else would you like to say before you leave?
I would just like to say, please do your very best to get out to the polls and vote. This is early voting, so you can actually cast your ballot if you choose to at City Hall this week. I believe it's from 9 to 4, City Hall. If not, please do your very best to come out and vote. And it's not that your vote doesn't count. It does count, because the more votes that we get, the more opportunity that I have a chance of getting the seat. And we know that historically we have had always low turnout, but this is not the time to stay home. This is not the time to be behooven by, the naysayers that are saying that, your vote doesn't matter, your vote doesn't count. It does, and it's your right. And so I'm asking you humbly to come out and vote your conscience, vote for those people that you believe will serve you the best. If it's me, thank you so much. If it isn't, thank you so much. Anyway, I will continue to do the work that I've always been doing for this community, because I love this community. I have children here. I have a grandson here. And so I will always stand up for this community, whether I'm running or whether I'm not. And so I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity, Daryl and your team, for just sharing a little bit more about myself and why I've decided to run. But again, please, take a look at my Facebook page, Elect Ayana for School Committee, District 4, Wards 2 and 8. Email me, call me, 413-886-9089. I can answer any question for you. If I don't have the answer, I will research it, and I will do my best to get back to you on that. So thank you so very much.
Okay. And please tell Sarah I said hello and give her a hug for me.
I will.
All right. Thank you, Ayana.
Right. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.
Okay.
All right, y'all. This is 90.7 WTCC FM. My name is D.Moss. We're in the studio with, what's your name again, bro?
Mr. Jones.
Yeah. That's the guy from New Hampshire. And we have, what's her name again?
Regina Hudson. Don't act like you don't know.
I was talking to that one back there. Hold on, let's get you off air now.
Now start over.
So this is 90.7 WTCC Monday Night Live with D.Moss, MBS Malay, Rob Jones. We have a number of guests coming on tonight. With us right now is Regina Hudson from Hudson Financial.
Yes,
in the background, we got my man from the Juice Bar. So we'll be getting to him too. And then we got my man, what's his name again, bro?
TREY TUCK.
And he's from, what's that town again?
I'm from Connecticut, bro.
He's from Connecticut. I remember Maloney High spanking them, then Platt spanking them.
Not the year I was there.
You don't remember that, huh?
Nah, I was there in 2009. We went undefeated the year. We beat the Bunch Boys.
Nah, man, that's my dude, fellow CT. I ain't gonna lie, I've been down in Bristol for quite a bit in my life. So we're gonna come back with Regina Hudson, but first I got to pay some bills. We'll be right back with you. Regina, don't go nowhere.
I'll be here.
I'm glad you got me with the backup music because I'm messing up right now. Here we go. 90.7 WTCC FM.
Committee to elect Janae McDonald for City Council Ward 4.
I'm Janae McDonald, and I'm running to be your next Ward 4 City Councilor because we need someone with a strong voice and clear vision. I've been working for our community by advocating for the renovation of Acorn Street Park tennis courts, addressing neighborhood parking concerns, and bringing basketball hoops back to our parks. Ward 4 deserves a city councilor who's going to speak out on issues that matter to our community the most, like making sure that we get our fair share of the millions of dollars of COVID funds given to the city. I am proud to be supported by City Councilors Justin Hurst and Tracy Whitfield. Please remember to vote on on November 2nd.
WTCC would like to thank the committee to elect Renee McDonald for
Committee to re-elect Jesse Letterman, City Councilor at Large.
Hi, this is Springfield City Councilor Jesse Letterman. The corner of Bay Street and Clarendon, where I grew up, is about 5 minutes from City Hall, but it can seem much further away for too many in our community. That's why I ran for City Council. Together, we've brought City Hall to the people and the people to City Hall to deliver real results for Springfield. But there is more work to be done. I'm running for re-election because now is the time to tackle our city's challenges, no matter how big or how small some might think they are. I believe we do our best when we think big and towards the future. Please remember to vote on Tuesday, November 2nd, so we can continue fighting for all of our neighborhoods. Thank you.
WTCC would like to thank the committee to re-elect Jesse Letterman, City Councilor at Large. The committee to re-elect Justin Hurst to the Springfield City Council.
This is City Councilor Justin Hurst, and I am running for re-election to the Springfield City Council at large. It has been an honor to serve the residents of Springfield over the last 8 years, and if re-elected, I will continue to be an advocate for our community and speak out on the difficult issues that matter to you most. We must invest in our neighborhoods, demand transparency in city government, and continue to fight for meaningful police reform. Please remember to vote on November 2nd.
WTCC would like to thank the committee to re-elect Justin Hurst to the Springfield City Council.
Natural and organic foods, supporting all local vendors. 908 Allen Street, the corner of Sumner and Harkness, Springfield. Open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
All right, Rob, you up?
209-9471. That's 413-209-9471. Bumpies. Remember, you have to nourish to flourish. WTCC would like to thank Bumpies Natural and Organic Foods for underwriting with us.
Going live.
Regina.
Hey, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see all of you.
Good to see you too. Good to see you too. I'd like you to, Hudson Financial, I don't think describes all the things that you do. Can you give the viewers, the listeners, a taste of the different organizations you're involved in and also the different streams of income you're involved in?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you again for having me on the show. But basically, I mean, my main services is a life insurance agent. So I'm a life insurance agent broker, meaning that I have access to 11 different life insurance companies. So I help. Huh?
You're certified, right?
Say it again.
You're certified?
Yes, I'm a licensed.
I think that's important for people to know.
Yes, no, definitely. So licensed in the state of Massachusetts, licensed in Connecticut, licensed in Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. So that's for the life insurance side. So, helping families financially protect their family's future, and then real estate, helping, home buyers find a home, sellers sell their home, but mainly education as well. Financial literacy education. What does it take to buy a home? A lot of people don't know minimum credit score is a 580 to possibly qualify to purchase a home. Income requirements, down payment assistance, there's many programs available. So, another service that I provide is just education, hosting seminars, going live, sharing information.
Now, you say 580 is the lowest credit score. Regina, hold on. Hey, fellas, can you talk a little bit louder so you can drown out Regina some more? Can you shut up?
We have a financial conversation.
Yeah, okay. God, dog. Regina, I apologize for these Negroes.
We are on 90.7 FM.
Damn.
I can't
WTCC.
believe you're using such language.
Negroes. That's in the dictionary. So, Regina, you talked about 580 credit score. That's the minimum credit score required to purchase a home, but that does not necessarily mean you're going to get a good rate, though, right?
No, it doesn't. Your interest rate is dependent somewhat on your credit score. So, that is a factor to consider, but some people are so, either motivated to buy their own home or to stop paying rent or stop paying someone else's mortgage. Sometimes, it's inevitable that they just want to purchase. So at least just sharing the information, though, because a lot of people have no idea what it takes to purchase a home. or how easy the pre-qualification process is.
Now, one of the things you talk about on the life insurance side, can you talk about some of the challenges you face? And I don't want to use the word convince, let's say sell life insurance to folks in this GoFundMe age.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry. to combat GoFundMe, one of my slogans is no more GoFundMe. So, really trying to advertise and just kind of share that thought that it shouldn't become a norm, to have to GoFundMe and to have to, while you're mourning, fundraise and scrape up funds, this is something that we should plan for. And also, again, children's life insurance, a children's policy can be approximately, between $4 to $8 a month. And it would take care of the final expense. So, it also gains interest. Like, there's so many benefits to life insurance. But to answer your question, on some of the challenges that I face, I think it really is just individuals, it's not a norm, right, within our community. I think we all know that. Investing in life insurance, buying your child a policy when the child is born, or having life insurance since being a child. We're now kind of just getting hip to purchasing and investing in life insurance. So, it's really just connecting with everyone that I can. I've combated though, like with, couples, the one individual in the relationship wants to get a policy and the other one sees no need for it. But then I always ask the question, well, if something happens to you today, what is it going to look like for your family tomorrow? Yeah. So, sometimes I have to be that blunt. It's not an easy job, to be honest. I've insured people, who are HIV positive, people who have had cancer.
They were able to get life insurance?
Yes.
The modalities that preclude?
They were able to get, there are certain policies or certain companies who, provide specific life insurance for individuals with those kind of medical conditions. And again, that's something that many people don't know. Like, wow, I had cancer 15 years ago. What am I going to do? Well, one of the guidelines with one of my carriers is as long as it was past 10 years, you can qualify for a policy. So, it's just sharing information constantly. I've hosted seminars and nobody shows up, and things of that nature, but it's just constantly trying to make myself visible. So that's why I appreciate the opportunity to be having a conversation with you. But it's just, being visible and just trying to share the information.
Can you touch upon the component of generational wealth building when you're passing wealth down to families and how important the life insurance policy is to that? Because you're kind of like, you're dealing with both sides. You got the life insurance policy, which is a component of that. And you also deal on the real estate side, owning a home, owning property, land, which is another component of generational wealth. I think that's something that we don't, our community doesn't talk about a lot.
So, if you ever, you could Google, you could go on Investopedia, you could go on any bank websites and you type in how to build generational wealth, and life insurance and real estate are on top of the list. So, life insurance, not only will it, it'll take care of a funeral, it'll take care of, but if you have a $200,000 policy, if you have $100,000, if you have, I have clients who have $1 million policies. Life insurance can pay off the mortgage. It can set your kids up for college. It can, help your children or help whoever buy a home in the future. It is funds for the future. So, just like we have retirement plans, right? Or we have, other type of investments. Life insurance is an investment. It's an investment for your family's future. I also, not many people really know of this trick, but something called mortgage protection, you can buy a term policy, so a 30-year policy that will pay off your mortgage if something ever happened to you. Because we have to think, if you have a mortgage and something was to happen to you, can your family stay in that home? Can your family afford the mortgage without you? So again, that's building generational wealth, because you're setting your family up for success, basically. Real estate, you know, you're owning a $200,000, $300,000 asset. So you are able to sell that, you are able to renovate and increase the value, increase the equity. So, you know, everything that we do, right, with our money is an investment. Even if we're buying clothes, it may not always be a smart investment, but it is an investment. So we really need to start investing in things that will be beneficial to us, to our future, and to our families.
Can you talk about how important the credit score is? I think people kind of just overlook the importance, like, you know, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, credit is extremely important. I mean, they say that credit is more powerful than cash, because, you know, you could, again, you know, even purchasing a car, or purchasing a home, you could walk in with, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 and walk out with a $20,000 car, $30,000 car, or you could be approved for a mortgage for $300,000. So, but it's all based on credit. You will not get approved if you don't have a minimum credit score. Again, you know, to purchase a home, it's a 580. So if you're not at that level, then you cannot buy a home yet, but you can work on it. That's the one thing that I've always told people about credit, is it can be rebuilt. So that's something, you know, really good to know. But, you know, obviously, you know, financial education, you know, our financial literacy is so important. And it's something that we, you know, really need to continue to teach our children as we're teaching ourselves. But, you know, credit is very, very important. You know, the higher the credit score, the more loan opportunities you will, you know, you may get approved for. You know, if you own a business, or if you want to own a business, if you want to own, you know, investment properties, own multifamilies and things of that nature, you know, your credit score could be a factor. But there are ways around it, you know, so that's why it's good to start the conversations. It's good to, you know, chat with a mortgage lender, chat with a realtor, chat with a credit specialist, you know, have the conversations. We can't avoid it, you know, and I feel like we've done that for a while as well, you know, because we're not always fully aware, is, you know, avoid having the conversation.
So I've seen some posts on your Facebook page with you and a bunch of women together, kind of empowering each other and supporting each other. Can you talk about that group and what brought you ladies together, and what is kind of like your mission statement around that?
So Lady Soldiers is a women's empowerment organization. We haven't been as active as we were last year. You know, COVID really, I think, hit everyone kind of hard in terms of just, you know, trying to kind of bounce back. But Lady Soldiers, initially it started with a book. So there is a book, it's available on Amazon. We also, each author has hard copies, you know, for delivery. But it was really, it's called an anthology. So there's 5 authors. Each author has their story, has a chapter. And it really, again, with the name Lady Soldiers, it's to empower women. You know, women are delicate, but then they're so strong. So that's kind of how the name came about. But, you know, battling things, you know, domestic violence, cancer, you know, the many different kinds of cancer, but, you know, breast cancer. We had one of our authors, you know, spoke of surviving a form of cancer. What else did we talked about? Miscarriage and stillbirth. You know, one of the authors spoke on that. So, I mean, it's a deep book. You know, the organization was founded really to let women know that they're not alone. No matter your struggle, there's someone else who is going through something either similar or, you know, is going through something. So everyone has a story. And that's really the basis of it as well. And empowering people, share your story, because your story could inspire or even save someone else.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I got a crazy question. At the end of the day, what type of imprint are you planning on leaving? Like, what is, I mean, because you do a lot, to the point that a lot of people have, you know, I don't think a lot of people understand what you do and how much you do for others. I mean, what type of imprint are you trying to leave?
You know, I'm still trying to figure it out you know, it's something that I thought about earlier. I'm like, I'm an idea person. You know, I have ideas and I want to do projects and build organizations and all that. But, you know, we can only do so much. I mean, just a positive one, to be honest, something that is positive and, you know, makes an impact in some way. You know, I love being in the financial field because I don't think, one, there's not many Black people in the financial field, but there's also not many Black women. So I think being a Black woman, honestly, it feels good to be in this field. But also then, you know, then there's the lady soldiers and entrepreneurship and things of that nature. So, you know, definitely just a positive impact some way. But, you know, I always tell people this, so now I'm gonna bring it up. Daryl, you are the reason I, you know, started networking and really blossomed, because the ABBP, you know, was doing like the monthly meetups or whatever it was. And I came to one, and ever since then it was like, all right, this is dope. You know, I want them to support me. And I just continued to stay connected. And I feel like ever since then, it was maybe, 2018, something like that. You know, I've been connected with so many great people, you know, so, you know, I always appreciate you. You as well, Rob. I think you were there that day as well, at the pavilion. But
I don't know, because I don't like Daryl.
He was somewhere. He was somewhere in the back being an idiot. I mean,
right.
I'm not gonna be there.
Regina, I just gotta say I appreciate you, and would like to extend an invite. You know, if you want to come on from time to time, just to, you know, Hudson hints and financial tips, you can do all that. I think that's kind of dope, right?
Yeah, that is kind of dope. I'm taking that. No.
So you're more than welcome. Just let me know anytime you want to come on. You can pre-record them or you can come on. I mean, I just think the information, because I know I sat with you to talk about life insurance, and I have to get back to you. I just think the information that you share with folks is just so valuable, and you do it in a way that's professional, considerate, non-judgmental, and you're pretty dope. So I'd say I'll just say it on the air. So we definitely want to get you back again. Is that cool?
I appreciate you. Yes. What you say?
I got one last question.
She doesn't want to mirror you, Rob.
I'm part of the LGBTQ crowd.
He said LG.
Wait, I didn't hear you.
LG. He didn't even say G. He said G. LG. That is crazy.
Ooh, this water is good. Okay.
Right. Whoa.
My last question, Regina. How do you balance all that in being a mother?
I know.
And what I don't know if you're like really thinking about it or if you're doing it purposely, but what are you the image that you're trying to have your son see? I mean, I know you're a good mom, you're engaged, you're active, but sometimes there's that, okay, I want to make sure I'm a good role model for my son.
Mona Jordan Reed on the sideline says Rob Jones wants to join your group.
We're always looking for volunteers, you know.
Go ahead, Regina. You can answer.
Okay, well.
I mean, but you know, I'm gonna throw it right back at you guys because you know, Daryl, you're a father. You know, you're involved in everything that you're doing. You know, you're a leader. Rob, you know, you're always active in the community and you know, doing everything that you do. So you know, we do what we have to do, but we also do what we're passionate for. And I think that's, you know, and honestly, I've always been a numbers girl. So like math, the financial field has always been, kind of interesting to me. So, things have aligned, but, it's definitely being connected with good people too, because, it's not easy. I'm a single mom. So, it's the day to day and kind of like the mental piece of it. You just got to keep moving. So that's honestly what it is. But Ayana, who we just had on, is inspiring. I used to work with her, with the parent villages. Tracy Whitfield, I always got to shout her out. She's like, a role model for me, or a big sister. So, being connected with good people is always helpful. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that,
thank you. I'm not gonna lie, I love you guys. You know that. We see each other when we see each other, but I always appreciate the support. So
that's family.
I have love for the short people.
Shut up, Rob. He always has to throw a short joke.
Always. Regina, don't forget. We would love to have you join us from time to time with some Hudson tips. Cool.
All right, I'll be back.
There it is.
Yes.
All right, lady. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, take it easy.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Last but definitely not the least for this part of the segment. What's good, man?
Hey, how you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing good. On with us now is Martin Davis from We Got the Juice. Him and his girlfriend Sasha Solomon. They own and operate We Got the Juice.
Right.
I was up in there a couple weeks ago. You weren't there though.
We just heard about you from the from our 2 interviews ago, right?
Yo, your spot is
clean, man. Demetrius.
Demetrius
He's the
Chamberlain.
one that told about you. Yeah.
I know. I was embarrassed. He had to come over to us what we got in Springfield.
Yeah, man. I know. Yo, you know what, Demetrius? Never mind.
We love you, man. Talk to us about We Got the Juice, and then make sure, don't tell anybody about that number 15, because I don't want to get there and all my ingredients be gone. So talk to us, man.
Juice. We opened, was it May 4th of this year? We sell smoothies, juices, and wellness shots. And we deal with mostly local produce and stuff like that.
Okay. So what made you and your girlfriend decide to say, you know what? We're gonna open up a juice bar. And we're gonna do it in Main Square. Talk to us.
In 2018, I got sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was like losing my vision a little bit, and I just kept having to use the bathroom. So I said, let me go to the doctors. I went to the doctor, and my sugar level was like, I forgot how much it was, but she said, good thing I came because I was almost in like a diabetic coma. So ever since that day, I started juicing, doing the smoothies, exercising and stuff like that. And it's been working out for me. So now I just try to offer it to the community.
Listen, I love what you're doing. I love the juice bar. It's probably one of the nicest venues in the city. It's
we deserve nice things.
I love it, man. I'm about to hit you up and start organizing and having meetings up there. I'll run an open mic up in that piece.
I really
good.
love the story. I really
we're gonna get some more. We're gonna get some more tables and chairs in there soon too.
That's awesome. I really like your story of why you started your business. I'm a true believer in if there's no struggle, there's no story. So I like when people don't start with me, Daryl.
I like that.
I thought he was about to say something because he was playing with me.
I'm still in that.
So I really like how you have a reason why. Like, some people start things and they don't necessarily have a reason why they started. It takes them a while to figure out why they started it. So I like how you had that story to just.
Yeah, I got type 2 diabetes, and that's pretty much it's just a lazy man's disease, pretty much. If you're not exercising and eating right, it develops over time.
Martin, I gotta say, your business, is saving the community, because it's easy to open up another sugar shack, open up another fried chicken spot, open up another fast food spot. But your business is actually saving the community because you're instilling healthy habits, and you're using healthy ingredients. And because of our melanin, those foods really speak to us.
Right. You can feel the difference. Everybody that comes in there, they have something, and they really appreciate what they get when they get out of there and how their body feels.
Yeah, it's you probably have one of the healthiest venues, one of the healthiest spots in the square, to be honest with you, because Mason Square is indeed a food desert.
Right.
Victim of food apartheid. So it's like probably I don't know if there's any other juice spots or any vegetarian spots in the square itself. And you're there, you're there smack, you had a downtown in Mason Square, that would be it, and you're right there in the middle of it.
Right.
And
I was raised in the motorcycle building, so that's perfect.
You home, you just right across the street, man. All right, you look every across it. All right.
I just want to ask one question based off of what you just said. So, like, I know you created your business plan and all that stuff, so I know you know of all the other juice spots and stuff in the area. So the only question I had is, what is different from your juice spots than the rest of the ones that you do know about?
Black owned.
What makes you different?
It's never frozen, always fresh. We deal with local farmers and stuff like that, and it's not cold press. If you want a juice there, we use the centrifugal juicer, so your juice is made on the spot, and you can pick what you can customize your own juice.
That's awesome. That's really dope. Okay.
I've done that. I made some modifications.
Who cares about what you want, man?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, speaking of, what's the number 15 that you talking about?
Well, y'all want to know what number?
I do want to know.
All right, we know that's that's between me, you, and Sasha.
I want to know what's the number 15.
That's between me. Don't.
Go ahead.
That's between me, you, and Sasha.
Daryl omits one of the.
He gonna tell my secret.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
One of the items in the recipe. So
you
the recipe is lemon, ginger, turmeric, orange, pineapple, and ginger.
That sounds like something that because I don't like my drinks too sweet. I like just the right amount. I don't know why. I just don't like
the balance with that is so perfect. It's not too sweet. It's just right.
That sounds really good. Like,
but
I gotta come by and get that number.
But that's me though. You can't order that.
It's too late. It's too late. I already know. I could just replay this back and be like, hey, this is what I want. And my drink.
Number 15.
Say nothing.
I'm ordering that, Martin. I'm ordering that with the slap. So next time Dale comes in, you gotta.
And let me just say, the customer service there is so professional. They're really, really, really dope. Both Martin and Sasha.
Appreciate that.
Really dope. You guys go, out of the way to make sure that people are happy. Typically, you walk in, you get your juice at most spots, and you're like, all right, go have a nice day. They're like, is it okay? Does it taste good? Should I change it? And it's like, you don't, you don't always get that. So it's like, and we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes. So I'm gonna give you a pat in the back publicly and be like, I need to get there much more frequently. But it's that number 15. That's gonna be. I'm a routine person, so every time I walk in, don't even bother asking. You might as well just pull mine up when I walk through the door.
So that means I can create my own number on the list.
Yes, you can. I'm gonna have to change that 15 and make it a name for you, Daryl.
You can call it the D.Moss.
Call it the monkey juice.
Cut it out.
Can I get the number 15, aka monkey juice?
Let's see what. It had me going. Yeah,
I walked in. Playing Jill Scott in the background. I was like, oh, okay,
but
it's my spot.
It's really good. It's so dope because we have the farming and the community happening over on Bay Street. We now have a juice spot. So it's really cool. And I just hope that more people follow your lead. I love the fact that, you yourself are serving as a living example of what can happen when you alter your diet and when you exercise. Because, we'll come up with a million excuses for dealing with the sugars, but we won't come up with an action plan. So I just think that's really dope. I love how you use your own life to inspire other people. With the products that you make, which in this case is juices.
That's
and it's dope.
The story is what makes people.
The smoothies. Don't forget the smoothies too.
That's beautiful.
That's right. I say juices.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but everything happens for a reason, and it was just it's just a bigger thing to it now. So
right. I feel like it's kind of like my calling,
Okay.
Exactly right. It's dope.
So I talked about the juices, but you also have the smoothies. Talk about some of the other things. What else you guys offer?
We offer smoothies and wellness shots for right now. We're thinking of adding some other items for the winter, but right now we're doing smoothies, juices, and shots. And the smoothies are more for the people that are diabetic because consuming that juice. Well, if you have it before 2 o'clock, it gives your body enough time to break it down. I tell that to people, but if you're diabetic, I prefer you go with the smoothies instead of the juices.
What's the base of the smoothie? You guys use like an almond milk or a water?
Yeah,
base?
we have almond milk, coconut water, coconut milk, rice milk, and that's it. Yeah.
So
Non-dairy.
you have specific smoothies for people that are on like keto diets and everything, right?
We don't really we have smoothies that kind of like that. Like people that come in that are on keto diets, they tend to make up their own smoothies.
Oh, okay. Because my
those
friend
are
Ashley,
customized too.
she's big on the juices and everything, and she's on her keto diet. So I gotta tell her about you, and you'll see her like every morning, probably.
Your business is definitely contributing to the benefit of our community for sure.
That's our purpose. That's our main purpose.
Which is one of the reasons why everybody has to do their part in terms of getting the word out, because we complain a lot. We've had shows where people talk about the fact that Mason Square is a food desert. So now that we have a healthy venue to go to, we all have to play our part. And I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to our listeners, the viewers. We have to do our part in terms of making sure that people know that this business is there, and we need to support this business as much as we support the bodegas selling the blunts and the spliffs and everything else.
What's wrong with the blunts and the spliffs?
I have nothing against it. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
And it's really nice in there.
If I'm sick, that's not going to keep me dark.
First of all, they're straight herbs.
No, I'm not down that. But
I'm saying.
if you find out, you have type 2, where you going? To the bodega, or are you gonna go to We Got Juice?
Both of them.
I'm going to We Got Juice. I'm coming to see you. She crazy. I'm coming to see you. So with that being said, anything else you want to say about the spot, talk to us, man. This is your time. We're live on 90.7. We're live on YouTube, Twitter.
I would say just come see us when you get a chance and come get some of this goodness we're trying to offer over there. We're right in the heart of the community. We're doing it more for the community than we are for the dollar. I could have been doing anything else, but I feel like Mason Square needs that.
And the great thing about your product and your store and your business and your story is that, you can go in there every day and get something to help your health. This isn't like
Sunday and Mondays we close.
Sunday and Monday, but you can go Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday. Because I get that a lot. They're like, "Oh, you closed on Monday? Yeah, we're closed on Monday."
You don't understand. Mondays is like the best part of the week. Okay.
Yeah, I went down there on Monday before. I was like,
We live in the Berkshire County, so like the commute is kind of crazy for us. Until we move a little closer, then we'll be able to open more and probably 7 days a week. If we want to. Then.
Say no more.
Did you say the commute is kind of crazy?
Yeah, every day.
Because the state police be out on that.
Yo,
90 like
they be out there hunting.
This is gonna be our first winter commuting back and forth, so should be fun.
Cruise control, man. Yo, so you got any waves under that cap? Because you wearing that thing kind of tight.
Nah, man.
Like we didn't even come to talk about his waves. Ask him what's under his hat.
I thought you had the Michael Bivins under there.
Martin, ask him what's under his hat.
You ever have those friends that embarrass you all the time?
Absolutely. He's the one. What'd she say?
Just real quick.
What'd you say?
Ask him what's under his hat.
What's under your hat?
The same thing under your rag, bro.
All right, let me just say this. My man Lamont Stuckey with the that everything sauce says 1 free drink on us from Veganist Veganist Foodies. Just follow their page and tag us in one post, and they'll pay for a drink at Martin's Juice Spot.
He's a good guy.
If you want a free juice or a smoothie, make sure you go and follow Veganist Foodies.
Wait, hold on, Lamont. I just want to say
Yeah, that's not fair.
Follow you and follow you back.
That sauce is crazy too, by the way.
No.
And then I'm also going to encourage everybody to follow the We Got the Juice page.
I'm doing it right now, Mark.
Follow them, and every time you go there, just tag them or check in and let people know that you're there. That's another way of letting your friends and family members know that I go to this spot, I trust it. You should go there too. I'm going
tomorrow.
So
I'm gonna be there tomorrow, Mark.
Oh, you got a private group, huh?
And I want the monkey. I want the monkey.
All right, you want the monkey?
That's my request for the private group.
Don't be Gorilla Black, Mark. Give me the Gorilla Black.
Let me do this. We're live with 90.7 WTCC FM. This is Monday Night Live with D.Moss, NBS Malay.
Wait, you gotta say my name, Daryl.
D.Moss and NBS Malay. There it is, y'all. So we on with the folks from We Got the Juice. Big shout out to
commercial for y'all. Okay.
Big shout out to Martin Davis, Sasha Solomon, and I gotta get your girl up in there, Sasha Solomon. Thank you guys both for really opening the spot. I don't get there often. I'm gonna try to get there more, but when I go, I'm deeply appreciative. And listen, my one mistake, I'm gonna stop buying one drink because typically by the time I get to my car, it's gone.
Right. Everybody says that.
Listen,
one to drink in the spot, one to take with me.
If I can't get this free drink from Lamont, it's on Daryl.
I'll pay first.
Nah, I'm just kidding. You got that.
Get her a small cup.
Nah, I don't want no smoke. I want large.
Get her that Gorilla Black.
Listen. So, anything else you want to add, bro?
That's it. I thought we're 872 State Street, right across from the Indian Motorcycle Building.
And it's called We
Got the Juice.
That's right next to my friend's house.
They got that juice, y'all. So it's in the same block.
That's gonna be our new liquor.
Directly across the street from the Indian Motorcycle Building, diagonally across from Martin Luther King Center, and level 5 is on the corner. So make sure you go into that little plaza, walk by the Chinese spot, hit the We Got the Juice spot, get your juices, and then you can support anybody else you want.
Walk past the bodega and the Chinese spot. Go right into We Got the Juice.
But make sure y'all like vegan-ish foodies pay so you can.
Oh yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us, man. I appreciate you,
man.
All right, thank you, Daryl. You guys have a good night.
You too, bro.
All right.
Rob is about to disappear in a minute because it's way past his bedtime.
Yeah, it's past 10:30 already. Oh wow, it's 10:30 on the dot. It's way past his bedtime.
So
it's a whole minute past his bedtime.
We got some
Bristol up over here.
Oh yeah, we coming on. We about to get live now. All right, y'all. So let's get it. Coming to the stage right now, everybody, give it up. I'm gonna let you do it, Malay.
What you want me to do?
Who we got coming?
You can take my.
Rob, you out? Bye, Rob.
Short stuff's coming through.
Hey, we're still on.
We're
still on.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're still live, y'all.
Honestly, Trey's dope. Listen, y'all don't know nothing about Trey yet, but he's gonna let you know. Trey, you tell them about you because I talk too much.
TREY TUCK.
Caught it.
All right, man.
Then you probably gotta fix that camera because I messed it up.
Yeah. Y'all be tearing it up.
Yeah, the other two are.
So you can tell them about you and everything, whatever you want to say.
No, right now?
No. We talk to you, yeah. This is TREY TUCK in the background if y'all ain't know it. But, Trey, tell them about yourself.
I go by the name of
Nope, we're not live yet.
I did have my bad.
Camera's all messed up, man. I'm trying to get it right.
I sent you 2 more to Google. Should have been like.
It's your interview, Malay.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. You don't need that.
And I give a by the lust, know it's all about us. Heard the rumors and discuss, never started to discuss like follow intuition, girl, we on a mission. Cause everyone in the world trying to make a difference. Give you got this pearls on the run of living. 5-star, rest
Like you said, I don't need the mic.
Right.
I put the phone down because I thought you said
Listen right there.
I sent you some more like moving but if not,
I got this joint right here is playing, and I got Getaway. I'll grab the other. I'll grab the other two.
No, that was Getaway, and there was one more after. That one ain't go through. It's called Rookie Record.
Okay.
You just felt more real with the mic right there. So like, hey.
You're on the air. Go.
And we live with D.Moss and NBS Malay and
TREY TUCK.
TREY TUCK. What's up? Let everybody know about yourself, who you are, what you do.
I'm an artist. I make music. I'm creative, so I don't only do art, but I do, film and things of that nature. So I like to just think I make clothing, so I'm a real progressive kind of person. So yeah.
What type of clothing do you make?
I'm working into fitness clothing,
Okay.
so I'm gonna start making like hoodies. Like this is my hoodie. These are like samples. Like I'll wear my stuff just casually, but I want to do hoodies, fitness, spandex for women, all that type of stuff. So.
What's the name of your clothing brand?
Workaholics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is your main message? And like, cause everybody has like a message for their business.
Mm-hmm.
What's like your mission statement or your main message for your business, for your fitness business?
It's just
fitness clothing business.
Yeah, no, it's just it's for the common worker. Everybody who, it's meant to be for everybody. Not everybody needs to grow up and when I grew up, not everybody could afford, Nike or whatever was the most expensive thing. So the product that I have, that I make, is simply just something that is for the people, right? For everybody, but it also is affordable, and it also means something, like work. Like, how hard are you working is essentially the slogan, and that applies to anybody. It's not just music. It's not, it's not clothing. You can be a common person every day. You go to work, you do something, you try to make sure that you do it the best you can and work hard. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do music, you do clothing. What else besides music and clothing?
I dabbled in the film. I act. I'm working on my acting career, but I also do. I also direct. So I put together films. I recently shot a documentary. You can check it out. It's on my YouTube page. I sat down with a couple people. We filmed it all. Went to different locations. Actually came out to Newton, Massachusetts to do some shots because I used to go to school in Mass. And I guess that's essentially called the executive producer. So I helped put all that together. It was pretty dope. It's about an hour and 8 minutes, and we showed it in a movie theater. But I broke it up into 4 parts on YouTube, so anybody can see it. It's there.
That's really cool. We're gonna have to put that in the comments so everybody can get back to it.
It's dope.
Yes, that's dope. All right, so let's talk about your music.
Yes.
I know your music has to be like, your message for your music has to be different than your clothing, than your producing or your directing.
It's all the same.
Okay, so all right, so in the gist of it all, what is your main thing that you want everybody to know about you and your brand?
I just want people to understand that with hard work you can accomplish whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always, it's not always the easiest route. Not everybody wants to do things consistently and hit a wall here and hit a wall there and find a way to continuously push. But my music is just about resiliency. Like, it's just about you're in a position that you feel like you don't want to be in, or you know you could be in a better one. So that goes with the music, that goes with the clothing, that goes with anything that I do. It's just keep working hard, just keep pushing, and just you'll see the results. But if you give up because it gets a little hard, or maybe it's not for you, then it's tough, and that's not the easiest thing for most people, because a lot of people don't like to do something, and then when you get denied, it's not really about what you do. I mean, it's more about what you do after that than what you did to get to that point. Like, it's more about how do you take no's. Like, I hear no's as, okay, I got to figure out a different way. Some people hear no's as, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my slogan. That's what I represent, is just finding a way to make whatever you want happen. And you can do that through hard work.
That's crazy, because that was going to be my next question, is how do you get through those hurdles and like those days that you feel like, oh dang, I really don't want to do it today. And I know you face different shows that you're just probably like, oh my God, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I'm so tired. Like, because you work a regular job too, right?
Yeah.
And you do shows, because you just did one at Speaking and it's so dope, right? By the way, that was a really good show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, of course. So you answered the most of the question that I was going to ask with that, but when you feel like, because someone asked me this earlier today, and I just feel like I always answer everybody in a different way every time they ask me. So maybe I could ask you this. When you're facing different situations in your life, how do you continue on, like, doing your shows, or like, how do you continue being motivated with your music and with, because you do a lot.
Yeah, it's tough.
So like, how do you put on that mask? Like, like, all right, I gotta go here and I gotta face all these people. I gotta deal with all these different personalities. Right. And like, how do you just like wipe all that away and just do what you do?
I like to think that nobody put me in those positions but myself.
Okay.
So when things get like overwhelming, or like my life is filled with just a bunch of overwhelming moments. Like for the most part, I'm just like, I'm doing the most. But I really think that you have to remember, like, you put yourself there. Like, no one told me to request that I wanted to do 10 shows in 2 months. I put that expectation there. So, a lot of times when we get the blessings we've been asking for, sometimes they come too fast, or sometimes we feel like we're not prepared. So I try to tell myself, like, no one put me in this position. I put myself here. So if I willingly said, hey, I want to do my own show, I want to do this show, and I want to do that show, and I want to record, and I want to figure out a design, no one put those thoughts there but me. So yeah, it's overwhelming, but you have to remember why you're doing it and who you're doing it for. And just think about how far you came to get to this point. Because some opportunities, sometimes you get to that point, but you never think about the times you didn't even have a chance for opportunities.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so like, I'm like a super believer in like accepting responsibility for the different things that you're going through.
Right.
Because if you don't do that, there's no opportunity to change.
Right.
Clearly. So like, that was beautiful. So I know you have a lot of music.
Yeah.
How many different projects did you already release?
In total, I want to say 2, 3 last year, 4 or 5, about 8 or 9 or something like that, around there, since I started making music. And that's been over the span of, like 7 to 8 years, maybe 9, maybe it's going on 9. It's been a while, but yeah. So, but they've progressively, as time gone, they've gotten better, and I've found myself through music. Like music saved my life, because I didn't know where I was going, and it's not like I was leading down a bad path. I was just going with the flow of everything. Like sometimes we don't really know where we're going because we've been stuck with something so long. Like, I love sports. Sports is my thing, but when I was taken away because I couldn't do it no more, I didn't want to do it anymore, I was in a position of finding myself. So every single project that I make is like leading to this point, to who I am right now. And then, most recently, I just started getting to the mentality of like, now I have to, so I talked about what I wanted and what I got, or who I wanted to become. Now I have to speak even more in depth of who I want to be and the things that I see myself. Because I spoke a lot of things into existence and didn't realize it until I was out of it. Like, I spoke myself into being on tour. I spoke myself, doing shows. I spoke myself into doing a lot of shows. I spoke to myself getting paid for shows, like doing things that I didn't have the opportunity to do when I first started. Like, when I first started making music, I was paying to do showcases, and not like, not like a cover fee like $250, $350, like 5 minutes, like 10 minutes, like $100 here, traveling to New York and back.
Oh my
So, but in those moments in time, I was writing like, I want to become this, I want to become that. So every single project, over 9 or 8 of them, they've been like showing that. So now I'm kind of excited to see where like these next couple ones go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of all the projects that you released, or out of all the ones that you sent to us, which one is your favorite? Or like, what's your favorite album or single or whatever?
My favorite project that I've done this far was probably the last one that I did. And I have a feeling like all my projects, my favorite ones are gonna be the last ones I did until I reached the next
because you know that that's your growth.
Right.
And when you're building from that. Yeah.
And it was crazy because I went through a lot. Like that, the last project I did, it was called It Won't Last Forever. And it was just like it was a lot. It was a tough time. It was me finding myself again. It was me reinventing myself again. So yeah, I got a lot of opportunities. COVID hit, and then a lot of opportunities were kind of taken away. Mixed that with doing, a whole bunch of family things and friend things and girlfriend things. Everything just hit at once. So I put the project out, and it was kind of like a relief. I didn't have to deal with that pain no more. I didn't have to deal with that pressure that I was putting on myself because it was out. I already said it. I told people. I spoke it into existence, and I did it. So my last project, It Won't Last Forever, is probably the best one to me. People say it's Price of Fame. Price of Fame is people's like favorite. I
you already know that's like one of my favorites. So like,
people love that shit.
Especially because we all engage in that last part. I won't sell my soul for the price of fame. Like that just means a lot because like everybody today wants to be famous. And they want the money, they want the cars, they want the clothes, they want the whole like that's my favorite song. BTW. But saying that, like it's very important today because a lot comes with all of that everybody wants. So like it's good to put songs out to give everybody that reminder. So which one is your favorite song?
Well, my favorite song, I would have to say, it would have to be Price of Fame is my favorite.
That is. Can we play that? Can we play Price of Fame? The one that stop shaking your head, dude. You see how he always does this stuff? He shakes his head, he act crazy. Like
I don't
know why he can't just give us.
I don't have it.
Yes, man, just for one day.
But it's on my project called Price of Fame. If you go and check it out, it's there. It's downloadable. Anybody can grab it, etc., etc.
I like Price of Fame. I like when you perform it all the time. Like I've probably been there for 3-4 performances. Probably a little bit more. 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Because you came to Speak and Eat 4 time.
Yeah, it was 3,
before your
4. It was 4.
feature. It had to be 4 or 5 times. One of the 2, whatever.
But you know, we are gonna play. I want you to talk about local rapper.
Okay.
Tell me what that's
about. Can we first play Price of Fame and then talk about local rapper, please?
See, that's the problem when the talent.
Only because we're already talking about it, and that's my song.
When the talent does not pay attention to the details, we do not have it.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you send a Price of Fame?
I didn't know. That's not my favorite. Like Price of Fame is a dope song. It's my favorite song to perform, but it's not my favorite.
But out of all the songs, that's crazy, dude. You really all right? Fine.
You're gonna get mad.
Damn, then we really gotta talk about local rap. I mean, I like that song too, but Price of Fame is one of my favorites. I don't know why.
And I think Price of Fame. If you've never been to a show, I think playing it out of context doesn't really do it justice. Crazy. And if you haven't listened to the project, I don't think that you can hear it out of context.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Do you have the instrumental?
Do I have the instrumental? No, not on my phone.
For Price of Fame?
I was gonna say if you had the instrumental, I'd be like,
and I'm just gonna have to jump in.
You just gotta come to a show. That's all.
That, or I'm just gonna jump in with this freaking freestyle. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Cause
I think that song is dope, and I think when people hear it at shows, it's always the last song I do. So I always feel like even if I play it for people, just off the strength of me playing it for them, I don't think the impact is really there because I set it up to the point where, like I told you about the journey that I took, Like that's the point in where I kind of knew my impact as a performing artist, not as a recording one, but I knew how important like I could reach people with that song. I reach people every single time with that song. So streamable, you got to hear it in the context of the album. But performance-wise, if you come to a show, I can guarantee that you're going to be singing it. You're going to feel it just because that's the type of energy that it brings.
What platform? Let people know the platform that you're on so that they can search for your music.
I'm on every platform under TREY TUCK. So you can go on Apple Music, you can go on Spotify, you can go on YouTube Music, you can go on Deezer, you can go on Tidal.
It's
Amazon.
everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere.
But I won't sell my soul for the price of fame.
That's one of my favorite records that I've
So talk about this local rapper?
No, this is Price of Fame.
Oh, when did you get it? D, I thought you just said you didn't have it.
I think you pulled it up. I don't know if it's censored though. I'm not sure. But this is my grandmother speaking. So that's why I was saying in the context of the project it makes so much sense, but I like it.
There is a wage, a payment that is coming. So if you do good, then good will come to you.
Yeah, put you in a position where you can make a difference. The only difference is they treat you different with your vision. Never believed you until it's too late. You always had a key but couldn't find the gate. Like you overslept for your flight, now you running late. Don't hop on opportunities and use it as an instrument. That might really be a part of your fate.
We did this in 2017.
Price of fame, would you sell out your brother up? Ben and your mother have the baddest girl on your arm, but lose the girl that really loves you. I hope my lyrics touch her. It's in the streets so cold, so take your time. Don't ever let it rush you. Money's an object, but wouldn't love be the same if there wasn't a profit?
Digging it.
I'm all of Elijah Muhammad. My family need a house in the
Would you sell your soul for the rocks and chains? 100 years ago they had a stolen chain. I won't sell myself for the price of fame. For the gold, for the gold, for the rocks and chains. Stay true to myself and ignore the pain. And at the end it's all because they know my name. I won't sell my soul for the price of fame. Tell me what would you do so they know your name? Would you sell your soul for the rocks and chains? 100 years ago they had a stolen chain. I won't sell myself for the price of fame. For the hoes, for the dough, for the rocks and chains. Stay true to myself and ignore the pain. And at the end it's all worth it because they know my name.
When you chasing your dreams, better proceed with caution and hope your contribution to the culture bigger than buying and flossing. I writing this often, I don't mind exhaustion. I put in the labor, can't leave the mission aborted. Price of fame, hope I don't get extorted. Hope these women don't use a force of coercion. I pray my circle never rotates and family don't change. I pray the stress leave real soon like bad dates and grind like bad breaks. That's a major key like mad weight. Home still hating, gotta get right for the cash sake. And you don't know life till you wearing all white. Your clothes all in the same. While you complain about ice, your parents got in your crib. It got your baby mom right. I lost some friends illegally like Native Americans. I'll never say that I can't or make same mistakes again. And if you ever think I sell myself for fame, you better think again.
I won't sell my soul for the price of fame. Tell me what would you do so they know your name? Would you sell your soul for the rocks and chains? 100 years ago they had a stolen chain. I won't sell myself for the price of fame. For the hoes, for the dough, for the rocks and chains. Stay true to myself and ignore the pain. And at the end it's all worth it because I know my name. That's why you gotta quit again. That's why you have to speak. Even in a negative situation, you've got to be able to look and see the positive. Even on a cloudy day, sometimes you can see the breaking of dawn. You can see the sun trying to break through. I won't sell my soul for the price of fame. Tell me what would you do so they know your name? Would you sell your soul for the rocks and chains? 100 years ago they had a stolen chain. I won't sell my soul for the price of fame. For the hoes, for the dough, for the rocks and chains. Stay true to myself and endure the pain. And in the end it's all worth it because they know my name. That song was dope.
Yeah. Then I got
This is a part of life
And D said now we gotta play the whole. He said bring it back. He said Dante produced that track.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Dante. Hi, Simone, I love you. This is TREY TUCK that's playing right now.
And I say that soon and very soon, I am going to have myself a brand new car that I don't have to pay for, and it might be a Genesis S90. Ooh, that's a luxury car, honey. And I can see myself in it. Okay?
Yes, that's price of fame.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that was dope.
Thank you.
And real quick sidebar, Ashley Rodriguez. What do you mean you all right or whatever?
That's my girl. First of all, Ashley, I was just talking about you because we gotta introduce you to We Got the Juice if you don't already know about it. I already know that you already know about a lot of stuff, but we gotta check out We Got the Juice if you haven't checked it out yet. And if you have, we got a date. Because I need to check them out. All right, so Price Fame is freaking dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
So dope. What's the next song that you sent to us that you want to talk about that we could play, bro?
I sent local rapper and Getaway. Whatever you want to play is cool. I could talk about.
Talk about local rapper first because he was already talking about it.
Local rapper is a song I did in like 2016. And it's just it talks about pretty much the woes of like being in a box where people think you're local. Like, I don't really think I'm local. I think that because people don't know you, sometimes they assume that you're local or they don't follow your journey the way other people do, so they'll assume that you're kind of local. But I've had the blessings to have my music played all across the country, along with different international countries, which is super dope. It's something that I never thought I'd be able to take my music when I first started. And I overlook a lot of that stuff, but dealing with people, you're trying to big up a community, you're trying to build with your community. Sometimes they don't really see that in you. They see the person they grew up with. They see that you're local. You might still live in the same place, so they assume because you live there, you're still doing the same things as everybody else. So it's just a song, just kind of going about that, just talking about it and going in depth with it. I actually shot a video to it as well, and just, I'm big on community, but the community, when the community doesn't support, then, they call you local, or you're trying to big up the people and everybody wants a paycheck and doesn't see that the vision is bigger than just money up front. Like, we can all make money up front, but then there's nothing happening on the back end and nobody wants to build. So I just kind of talked about that a lot. And like I was telling you, my early journey, I did a lot of shows where I was paying $250 to perform one song, or I was traveling to a different state to be in a contest that I wasn't meant to win at all because it was rigged from the start. So it just talks about a lot of those like roles. Yeah, like, and I've done a bunch of them, but I don't take away from them because I learned myself in those moments, and I learned that nothing can really hinder me. That's the wall that you talked about.
That's it.
And when you hit that wall, you just find a new way to get around it. So yeah.
I really like that. Okay, I guess we're gonna play local rapper then.
Give your name one more time, bro.
I go by the name of TREY TUCK.
Where you from, bro?
I'm from Connecticut, repping all the souls that work hard and trust the work. Everything comes full circle. That's just how I rock.
And what we're about to play?
We're about to play local rapper.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Moving different and trying to box you in. I guess the end result different when you got dividends that separate you from that rap without no plans. Plans be your infant to flow water under bridge. Damn, I'm bridging the gap with my records. Want the mainstream buzz, but can't do it with local networks. It's like they want to help, but they need to see a check first. I pay for show studios, but what's my network? Damn, maybe a couple thousand, or maybe I'm just wildin'. Your favorite rapper was a local talent, so I don't get you scared of supporting. They put in effort to be off the hook, no corners. Now my time is ticking. I'm feeling like a man Muhammad. Give me a deadline to be great, and I feel something solid. reliable talent. Will guarantee you live lavish as long as I'm good in my. Being in the rappers, all that vision, they still calling you a local rapper. I got dreams of being in the rafters, all that vision, they calling you a local rapper. Like, la, 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 la. Still calling you a local rapper. Like, la, 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 la. They had the two torture me in the switch up. Like, how the fuck you do that? And how you gon' forget us? When you feeling isolated and your pupils are dilated from late conversations, right then I knew I'd make it. Started from the basement. We had to embrace it. Now I'm aiming at the sky like it's a generous station. Surrounded by
I'm about to go in on the air.
You know how you be talking junk to me and all that and back and forth? That's what's up. You know, she was here. You know how you be. You like, right?
I got dreams of being in the rafters. All that vision, they still calling you a local rapper. I got dreams of being in the rafters. All that calling you a local rapper. Like la la la. Still just a local rapper. Like la 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 la.
Yo, bro, you kind of dope, man.
Kind of.
You dope.
He dope.
Thank you.
Yo.
What's the last one that you sent us? Oh wait, D, you was gonna ask something? Sorry.
Say it again. Nah, I'm trying to take it in. First of all,
I know. That's
I'm with you.
I got too many questions, so I was gonna wait till that.
Nah, you can ask all you want. Malay, I just got to say for the record, I'm digging that local rapper. I think a lot of local artists have to deal with that.
Yeah.
When you say local, basically the cats from the backyard, they all get that label, get thrown in a box.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's like everybody respects their crafts except for the people that they grew up with.
Right.
And I'm glad you locked it down.
Came out with it.
But I got to go back to that price of fame.
Word.
Right.
That price of fame, bro. I disagree
fame?
with you when you say you have to listen to your live performance to really, feel it. Yo, that joint is gonna be a permanent play.
And you see, but the live performance, I love the track, but the live performance is a different experience.
I'm sure the energy is different, but I've never seen the live performance. But I heard the track, and I'm listening to the track like, I'll be playing that on a regular basis.
The energy is different when he's performing it. Like he's dope. He's dope. But the energy is different.
I think not to cut you off.
No, I'm sorry. I just had to say about that.
No, and it's
I
enjoy it too. I just think my ears are different for it. But this is your first time hearing it, so I get it. Me, I just know it's like because I'm an album person. So like when I listen to albums, I'm really big on albums that have sequential order and there's like a purpose, like To Pimp a Butterfly, or just certain albums that have it follows through. As you go through one, you have to hear two, you have to hear three to get to five, and I think that's one of those songs. So hearing it out of context is definitely dope, but I also think when you hear it in context, it makes sense to the journey and the picture that I was painting, and it paints it even more vivid, like within that. And that's kind of what I was saying. Not saying that it's not dope standalone, but I just know my intention when I did it, I was like, okay, you have to make sure you get to this one.
So who do you make music for? Do you make it for the fans, your listeners, or you really like digging it yourself?
I make music primarily for myself.
Okay.
And what I realized over time was anytime I start making music for anybody else other than myself, it don't really hit the same way that I think. Like I understand there's a balance, and I understand that I know how to create the balance, but the best type of music that I make, it comes from like me. A lot of times I'm talking to myself. It sounds crazy.
I dig it.
But it's also like affirmations, but it's simple enough that you can hear it and you can piece your life with it. Like I'm not like narcissistic and go like crazy and but I just speak from a point of like, if there's a person speaking to me, that's who I am in these records. Like if I can speak to me outside of myself, some of these things that I say, some of the lines I put together is me giving myself advice or talking to my younger self. I know that people can relate to it because I'm a relatable person. Now, if I was, egotistical or like I really wasn't the person who I preached to be, then there would be a huge disconnect, but there's not. So like I like to make it, and because I do make it for myself, the fans enjoy it and people enjoy it and appreciate it.
I'm gonna tell you, for somebody who just heard that joint for the first time, that joint's dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it like that.
I know D, so I know he's gonna be playing that back.
That joint is dope.
Back to back. So like,
I'm a routine type of dude. If you're sequential, I'm routine. I'm just like, I hear something I like.
Yeah.
I dig it. I'm in. Yo, that's really dope. And I got to shout out Ashley Rodriguez.
That's
I'm talking. Ashley, I'm talking junk to you because you came down and you never came back.
Yep, she's coming
and
back.
Now I miss
she's been
you.
Traveling, dude.
Well, I want to try. I want to travel too.
Yeah, but she's been traveling. That's my.
Well, she's always traveling.
I love her.
I just want to travel too.
I know, but like people gotta enjoy their lives. She'll be back. We're gonna bring her. I'm gonna see if she could come here with me in 2 weeks. When I come back.
Dope.
So because I love her, but like
Ashley, I'm laughing.
Trey, tell us about the last song you sent us. Oh, D, did you have a question?
Well, nah, it look like it's your joint. Go ahead. What we got next?
Sorry, D. What was the last song that you sent us? Tell us about it.
It was called Getaway. So the last song I sent was called Getaway. I don't think I played it right.
But tell us about it.
All right, so hold it real quick. So like I was telling you about sequential order and everything like that. This is a project similar to that, and the song is dope. It's produced by my homie Josh Flood, and shout out to Alexa. She sung on the hook, but it was really just I was going through it. So this is all my project called It Won't Last Forever, and I was having a really tough time. And the phone call is actually real on there. My homie called me, my OG, he called me, and he was wishing me a happy birthday, but I didn't pick up my phone because I wasn't really feeling it. Like last 2 years ago, my birthday wasn't the greatest. It was great, but I wasn't the greatest for my birthday. So I just was going through a lot. So this song is essentially just talking about that, not in specific, but just talking about the place I want to go, like the places I want to get away to, like when you feel trapped inside your brain sometimes, like where are the places that you want to go to, the times that you probably experienced that were super dope. I talk about going on tour, the things that I did on tour, just things and places that brought me back to the peace that I needed at the time. So this was that record, but it's really dope. Like it's super positive and uplifting.
Okay, let's get to it then.
What's the name of it?
It's called Getaway by TREY
TUCK. I'm over here thinking that you heard him and everything. I'm crazy.
90.7 WTCC FM. Listen to Monday Night Live with D.Moss and MBS Malay, y'all. TREY TUCK in the background with Getaway. Dig it.
You invest to hide the stress, and I've been on a mission working till there's nothing left. They call me one-sided, can only make the conscious music. I'm well versed in check the contribution. Spearheaded the movement, I'm put the way I do this. Relying on the empire I built, I feel like losers. Only few question what I'm doing. Let's take the show on the road and start getting to it. I came a long way from the continental breakfast. I'm more mature now, I treat my exes like a lesson. I can't shake where I draw from like a mental sketching. It's feel like 5 a.m. LA Mad Lion sessions. Yeah, then we caught the Denny breakfast. So broke, but had hope. I bought a grand slam. I'm talking theories with teacher, he talking aquatic man. And Pascal and said so how they speak in African. My shorty got a favorite tan, but I got love for sisters. Preaching unity for the people before they clip us. More vicious to talk different when they chicken little. I studied game long enough to dodge the second fiddle. Yeah, that's when they feel you. They tell you they love you, thinking them words will heal you. And actions don't follow, judge you like Uncle Phil do. Stand by me when it's crazy, thinking what will still do. Out of pocket, talking like they dual threats. Annoyed by the web, it connects in every circle, check the radius. Speak with passion, that's just how it gets. Yeah, I speak with passion, that's just how it gets.
I feel like getting away, getting away, getting away, getting away, yeah, away. I feel like getting away, getting away, getting away, getting away, yeah, away.
Yeah, thinking so far ahead of time, you misled. misread. Try to leg sick for the days we lived in red. Below the poverty level, but kept us strong and fed. No government cheese, we had ramen instead. Burning CDs and watching movies, really distress. $1 in a dream, but with the hope we would invest. I'm praying for better days. Tupac said it best. Tired, but I barely rest. And even though I rubber roll, we never lost a thread. I'm on my sophomore year, this feel like my second leg. With a growth, ain't hormones and stones. We made in broken codes. I feel inspired before I hit the bed. Yeah, back when Jeezy showed us how to break a press. The winners in the winter had us coated in the. They couldn't tell it. We felt like shipping hills rich. And I was running hills with hopes of a scholarship. Yeah, they steady asking who I'm loyal to. But they never gave a about what I'm going through. I start to manifest before they start controlling you. I watch fish snakes and I'm thinking, what would Kobe do? More than shine down, we celebrate. Drink more water and watch how you levitate. 64 ounces, I mix that with the meditate. And I can medicate that, but I won't get away.
I feel like getting away, getting away, getting away, getting away, yeah, away. I feel like getting away, getting away, getting away, getting away, yeah, away.
Dirty straight, know you can relate. You don't know it, straight, ride around in face. Hope you got me in the case. Hope you got me on the haters. Hope they know what is safe. Ride around haters. Hope you got me on the haters. Hope you got me in the craters. Ride around on the safe.
What's the newest album you got? Price of Fame?
No, the newest project is It Won't Last Forever.
So if I pulled the track from that, which one?
If you pulled any track from it, let's just play.
90.7 WTCC FM. This is D.Moss, MBS Malay. We on with my man TREY TUCK out of CT. Talking about his music. He has a couple of albums. You go on any platform, you're gonna find them. What do you got? Price of Fame, Stuck in a Good Place, The Works Tape, The Maestro, and his latest project is called It Won't Last Forever. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you go online, peep his music. Dude is dope. Me personally, I have a favorite track. I'm digging Price of Fame. But I'm gonna pull something off that new album at random from It Won't Last Forever. I'm just gonna grab one. Let's see what we got. And right now, I'm digging this one. Here we go. I'm digging the title, so I'm gonna play it. You're gonna find out. Here it is, y'all.
Bottle up a lot, thinking what women gon' want this. Yeah. M7 was the name of the cell. Felt like they finally got me, I was lower than hell. Tasers all in my back while my mama just held like, what could she really do? I told her saving herself. Best option still haunted by the screaming and yells. You really dodge the system when you mention yourself. Microsoft and DNA, but really shaking by 12. Middle finger, fuck a copper, see I learned it by 12. Not they generalize, but they saving themselves. Co-workers do a wrong justification, needs help.
Produce the track.
Josh Blunt and East Lake Concert.
Dope.
Tell me your frustrations, are they blading or they blanket? You try to make amends, but it feel harder when you say the world on your shoulder, never pausing on the land. Supposed to have it all, but never teach you how to be a man. It's like we always learning second. And 5 you in the box, at 25 you dead over in the cannon. Timely demise got me thinking life really a scam. Unwritten rules, but you follow, hoping to understand or comprehend. For a purpose, you know you gotta stand. And ain't enough love in the world for a broken man. Scattered pieces just like Jigsaw's not part of the plan. To hide the truth, Casamigos and bitches on demand. Woo. Had this shorty busting just like Peter Pan. Shit was disgusting, had me lusting, did it all for nothing. Little attention, but she draining energy consumptions. A little buzz, but I'm bugging, dodging the real discussions. Like, how if I cried, thinking they never love them? And if I died, who really gon' feel the numbness? Bottled up a lot and thinking like, what women gon' want this? Been broke a lot, but feel alive through the performance. Tell me your frustrations, are they blading or they blanket? You try to make amends, but it feel harder when you say the world on your shoulder, never pause, you know the lane. Supposed to have it all, but never teach you how to save it, yeah.
Who's that on the hook?
Teach you how to save it, yeah.
Dig it.
Teach you how to. Come to grips with the truth. Truth is realer than you. Your mental staying intact and your emotions in tune. Loose cannon before the drama. They thought you were fool. Like my time with all love foes when there's nothing to do and nothing to prove. No more to you niggas. I want to log in. All out the court and find the things I feel it in my core. The watch exotic, but with the time we would explore. For those lonely nights where we would dream of wanting more. I cried a few times in my car praying my drive was strong. I grew up around the bogeys like I was bad at golf. I kept a couple hoes, they different when I'm not involved. Protect your energy, I'm slipping when I'm helping y'all. I'm crying about my problems, but that shit won't help the poor. I used to follow trends, but that just kept me misinformed. I wonder how it felt to be in shackles, born whipped until my skin was torn. Grandma shaking peanut trees, trying to make a coin. Trying to find a meaning in life before my first is born. And if I can't figure it out, please forgive me for
your flow is crazy.
Use a grant like Horace. I pray for protection, health, knowledge, nigga, that's the iron forest. Legends die young, should we be striving for it? Legends die young, should we be striving for it? The drive is done.
Most people can't get that energy in the studio, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Worked hard on those. Worked hard on all those.
90.7 WTCC FM, y'all. This is D.Moss, MBS Malay up in the spot. And yeah, we up in here with TREY TUCK, man. I'm digging these tracks, man.
Thank you.
I'm straight. Price of Favor is my joint. I'm glad I played this random joint because When a Man Cries is deep.
Yeah.
That's my phone.
That joint's dope. You should have sent me that one cleaned up. That's my. I'm gonna have to clean that myself. I'm gonna go through your music to pick out my own joint.
I got all of them clean.
He's sequential. I ain't sequential. I'm elemental. I'm just gonna play my joint.
You know that's my song.
I don't know what people want to hear, man. People want to hear.
Listen.
I don't know.
You know what?
I'm done with my
You know what's
questions,
different?
you
You know what's different between artists today and artists from yesterday?
Yeah.
Cats back in the day would get 10 people in a room to find out what folks are digging.
Right.
Artists today are like, yo, I'm digging A, Z, B, and M.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like sometimes, man, yo, your fan base, man, it's like I'm that type of dude. You don't send me a whole album because the single that you're pushing may not be the one that I'm digging. So I'll play whatever. I hear cuts. What do I play here is Making Me Goodbye.
Yeah, that's just.
She be like, what about Tattoos? No, Making Me Goodbye. What about this one? No, Making Me Goodbye.
He really does. That's his song.
Yo, I'm just like, what's my man's name? Macway. Yo.
You already know.
I can kill us. What else
That's
he
his
produces
song.
in the next 20 years? Safe will be my joint. They might play that at my funeral.
I
That's our
say,
joint. When I'm with you. So it's kind of like there's certain joints that become, everybody's personal thing.
Right.
This one I hear When a Man Cries, because it's like, I dig it because you always hear about everything that women go through.
Right.
And I love women, don't forget, I love my sisters. But I don't think there's enough songs that talk about what brothers go through.
Right.
So I seen the title and I'm like, yo, it works. I'm listening to the song. I'm like, oh yeah, this definitely works.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to my brother from another mother. We go way back. Wayne LaForte, what's good, bro? We about to play that Jet in about 10 minutes. Right now we are on with TREY TUCK. Yo, I love this When a Man Cries, man.
Thank you.
I'm digging that. Y'all picking out my own songs from now on. I'm picking out my own joints. I'm like, yo.
The crazy thing about that song, it's dope because my homie Josh Blunt, he put it together, right? But
he from CT too?
No, he's actually from Houston. He lives in Connecticut now. But he's from Houston. And my homie Dante, so he didn't even know that we sampled. So we sampled him, and I had him play something for me for another song. And we took it and we used that sample, doom, doom, doom. So he's actually playing the piano. And the whole purpose of that song was just to kind of talk about and like I told you before, I talk about some of the stuff that I go through with the hopes that I know it can connect. So like the line says, I cried in my car a few times, praying my drive was strong. I grew up around the bogeys like I was bad at golf. Those two lines are like my life. Like there was a point where that was happening, but in retro in just the scope of everybody, I think a lot of men, when we go through things, like your car is a safe space. So if you're gonna go through something, It is your car, it's your house. Not everybody has. You have to put on, because as soon as you get out your car, your face is
the
on.
mask. The mask. It's the mask. The mask comes right on. Yeah, and it's absolutely. Like it's so crazy you say that, because I know I do it. I know a whole lot of brothers that do it. Yo,
the car is definitely my spot.
When Ish hits the fan,
right.
I'm out. Yeah. I'll be back. And you go for that long drive. I'll leave here, drive down I'll drive down New Haven sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop at Marion. I'm gonna check somebody out. All right, I'm gonna go back to Springfield. I'm good now.
Right.
You know, and it's like your therapy is the music you play in your car while you ride. And sometimes you drive in silence.
Right.
Get junk out your head. So I dig it. I say all that to say I dig it.
Sometimes I definitely don't even realize that I'm even sitting in my car. I'll be at my house and I'll be like, wait a minute, like how long I'm
you don't get out.
Sitting in my car.
That's a safe space.
I think it's time to go in the house.
Especially when you're just sitting there just listening to music and just vibing out.
It's dope.
Yeah.
You don't want to get out of your car.
This is 90.7 WTCC. My name is D.Moss, and that is who?
MBS Malay.
And we have a guest in the studio. His name is what?
TREY TUCK. Trust the word.
He in the house. So it's 11:19 in the PM. We were supposed to get into some relationship talk, but you know it's a political season, and yo man, politics is like.
We're definitely talking about some relationships tonight because I.
Oh, you gonna do it? So let's close out with my man TREY TUCK.
Okay.
All the way up from CT, and then I gotta play this joint about. I can't even talk. See what you did to me, Malay? Yo, this Kool-Aid you gave me, something wrong with it.
I didn't give that Kool-Aid to you.
Something's wrong with this Kool-Aid, man.
Okay. I was just minding my business and drinking water.
Well, I got Kool-Aid. So, I got to play this joint by my man, Jet. I've been listening to his music for a minute. Haven't had a chance to play it. Tried to clean it up. So, it's the first time played on 90.7. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Ashley, I know you listen. Give me some feedback. Here
Ashley,
it is.
I love you. Jess, I love you because I know you're both watching.
And then we're going to come.
I love y'all.
We're going to come back. We're going to close up with Trey. I'm digging that name too. TREY TUCK.
TREY TUCK.
All right, TREY TUCK, y'all.
TREY TUCK.
Here we go. This right here is by my man Jet. It's called Soul. Let's dig it. Start over. I'm messing up, man. I'm telling you, it's that Kool-Aid. It's her fault.
For the price of fame.
90.7 WTCC FM. She's grabbing her wine aid.
I'm live on Facebook. I'm letting them know where me and D.Moss did. Hey, where we at?
90.7. We up in the studio. Hey. On camera. On camera.
When you battle first, no, I never been on tour, don't expect rap to work. I do this on my off time.
I swear, it look like y'all in color and I'm in black and white over here.
I know it does look like you're in black and white. But I got color.
Hey, get another camera. This ain't working. Yeah, you in full color.
I know this is one of the jackets that you said you like.
No, I definitely dig that one.
What's up, Trey? I love you. Trey, I want to see you next Monday.
This track is dope. Dig this track. Did you play sports down there in Bristol, man?
Yeah, Bristol.
You play, what you play? Football or basketball?
I played both, but I played more. I didn't play in basketball. I was out in basketball.
Okay.
But I I was telling you, you know Jerome Bunch, like you know the Bunch brothers.
I heard the name. I don't know.
So they went to Maloney. So the year we were there, 2009, we went 10-0. So we like.
Oh, hold on. 90.7 WTCC FM. That's my man Jet. Yo, I'm gonna go Jet back to back. We'll come back and close up with TREY TUCK. Dig it. Go ahead. I had to kill for time.
No. We went there. So the year 2009 was the year we went undefeated. But Jerome Bunch, he went to Maloney, and he was really, really good. And we ended up blowing them out. So when you said that Maloney and Flat, like we the years I was there, we whacked.
Listen, man. There's only a couple of schools I know that actually go head up with Maloney. Bristol, y'all always off and on. Yeah. Y'all go some years with like 18 right. Y'all go undefeated on 1 or 2 losses. Right. Then y'all might have a horrible season. Right. Still get related for a platinum guy like that. Maloney's always consistent.
Maloney's been good. Cloud, I think his name was. I don't know if you're in the basketball, right? We literally played some prominent players. 2 years out, so I was there for 4, but 2009, 2010 were 2 years. Like our basketball team went like 20-4 when we lost to London. We lost to Chris Dunn. We played for Chicago Bulls, but we played them in like the quarterfinals. We should reach half court. It was crazy. Like, it was nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like it was terrible. Our scouting report said none of them could shoot. Everybody in this team was shooting like great. So we got blown out, but like Aaron Hernandez and everybody like that.
His story is crazy.
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah.
That story was crazy. That was a crazy story.
That story was tragic.
It really was tragic.
Are we live?
But
90.7 WTCC FM. Yo, shout out to my homie down in Waterbury. What's up, Miss Gaines? Shout out to Brittany Gaines. Listen, man, my glass is empty. You know, I put my soul in this cup. I want this, anyways. I need some wine.
We had that chocolate. He gave us.
Oh, I do got that chocolate. So let's close up. You want to close up with Trent?
Trent.
Why am I calling him Trent? It's the Kool-Aid, bro. It's Trey. It's Trey.
Yeah, no, you good.
Damn, Malay, it's TREY TUCK. I feel like Charlotte.
I'm over here stuck.
I feel like Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club. Did I just say that? Yeah, I think I did.
Trent? No, this is TREY TUCK. Yo, Trey. What else do you want to tell everybody else? Like, because you didn't send us anything on visual.
No. I sent 3 records.
Well, we're gonna end it off with I'm gonna sell my soul for the price of fame.
Price of fame.
I'm gonna sell my soul for the. So, what else do you want to tell our listeners?
You can just follow me at TREY TUCK. Go check out the music. Go check out the documentary. It's all on my YouTube page. It's all on my Instagram page. My Instagram and Twitter is TREY_TUCK_. You can find me anywhere if you just search it up, you Google it. I think one of the greatest achievements I've had outside of the music was the filming of the documentary. And shout out to Quinn Essential Pictures, Noir Films, J Films. There's a bunch of people who helped put that Trust Productions. There's a bunch of people who helped me put that documentary together, but the greatest part of it all was the fact that I was able to shoot it and have it be released in a movie theater. So
that's dope. That's really dope.
Yo,
Jay, shout out to that because
so
that was freaking dope.
I want to know if you have a role for like little old bald dudes with like white beards. I like to be a character. I'm just saying.
That's exactly what he is referring to.
In my near future, I am going to be working on putting a
film
together. So if I need people, I'll definitely give you a call.
Give me a call.
Don't forget to call
I'm not.
I would love
You
to
know
hear
what?
you, girl.
Malay, I'm having problems with your girl Ashley, man.
Ashley, what are you saying? Because he's been bugging all night, but whatever you've been talking about.
I think she heard the pop noise.
Oh, she knows what's up.
She heard the pop noise.
Oh, you see, I'm live on my Facebook, so I can't even.
She heard the pop noise. I'm sorry, Ashley.
I love you.
Here,
I see you at 12.
For your own.
12:10. I was like 12. Ashley, I'll see you at 12:10 because you're awesome.
So if people want to follow Trey Tuck, tell me. Give me the Facebook, IG, TikTok, whatever.
Facebook is Trey Tuck. Instagram is at Trey_Tuck_. Twitter is at Trey_Tuck_. I got a lot of big play. Oh, YouTube is Trey Tuck. You can just search it. You can find my music. You can find my videos. I got a lot of big plans for 2022. So as of right now, I'm idled on social media. I'm getting my content together. I'm working behind the scenes, and I'm looking for January to be one of the most successful years for myself and the people that I'm with. So definitely want to follow the journey and support it as you can. And I'm very, 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 very grateful for all the people who support me and have done for me this far, because I would never have been able to do it without any of you guys. So thank you, Malay. Thank you, D.Moss. I appreciate you guys for having me here. And it's really dope. So thank you.
I'm looking forward to it, January.
Appreciate you being here. Again, that's a verbal contract you just made. Sealed with Ashley Rodriguez's famous wine aid. So
I love her.
I want a movie deal. There we go. Everybody, this is 90.7 WTCC FM. I got some cards to play, and then Malay got some things to talk about. And yo, man, it's been a good night. Shout out to Ayanna Crawford, who's running for school committee. Shout out to my man JJ Ryan, who's running for city council. Shout out to Regina Hudson, who is handling my retirement plan. Yes, Lord. And then shout out to my man Trey Tuck. Yo, music is off of the charts.
Because Trey Tuck is on another level.
Go to Tidal, type in Trey Tuck. The whole catalog comes up. It's just dope. Who else? I want to shout out. Oh, my man Jet.
Shout out Dante. He's Dante.
Uh-oh.
That's his name on Instagram. Recently, Dante.
Oh, Ashley said maybe she should be an actress. Yo, I think you should
You should be an actress in everything.
You should do a horror flick. I'll be the serial killer that chases her, that chases Ashley with a big hacksaw or something like that. Yeah, we could do that.
Don't play my friend, okay? But you know what, Ashley, we could get away with murder. Let's do it.
Now that would be dangerous.
Let's get D first.
We don't want to do that. That would be dangerous.
Let's get D first, Ash.
Nah, leave D alone. Just leave D alone. And see, there was some more new music that I wanted to get to, but
Later, we're gonna play my new song.
Yeah, what's the name of it again?
Oh my God, do you want to play it?
Give me the name.
It's called Nobody. But play the extended version because we're about to get nasty, okay?
All right. Everybody.
7 FM, these views are our views. What's up? Play that, dude.
You know I'll chop the killer up. You know what?
These views are our views.
You know what, Ashley?
My new song.
Probably. You probably have your own hatchet. Yo, she might be a serial killer. That's the movie, right? You're going to do a horror flick, a thriller about a serial killer who goes after somebody who's a serial killer. No, not like that. Not like you. Not like that show you on Netflix. It'll be different.
I wouldn't kill anybody.
Yes, you would.
I'm not a Joe. I'm not a Joe Goldberg. I'm good. Okay?
Next up, everybody, brand new music from my homie.
Nobody heard this yet, so don't play with me, y'all. All right.
Brand new music.
Does it say extended at the end of it, D?
From Malay.
D, does it say extended at the end of it? I gotta make sure.
Of course it does.
Oh, you gotta turn this up, D. You gotta turn this up.
You ain't get me kicked out. My girl up to sleep with 3 babies in the bed. She tried to get me
listen,
from my own
house. Song. This is my song. Okay. Hold on.
All right, guys.
And she didn't even make you do anything live. You lucky. You got off.
I mean, I'm prepared for whatever, man.
Stay there.
My teacher is KRS.
That's my dude. What you know about KRS?
Mentor, man. I went on tour with him for 3 months.
Word?
Yeah, absolutely.
Grew up on him.
Mad Lion, everybody.
This is my song, okay?
Did you watch the verses?
It was him and Big Daddy. How do you do?
Pretty good.
Killed it?
Yeah, he
Who won?
His thing. I didn't see it from the beginning, so I'm not sure. my bias would say KRS, but people were saying Kane was doing this thing, and he rightfully so he was. So I don't.
Kane was a monster.
Yeah.
Y'all messing up my music club.
KRS-One is a longevity though.
Yeah. He still does shows. He's on tour right now.
He's an underground superstar.
He's on tour right now.
I'm about to kill this verse.
Alright, I'll take off forever. Malay.
Hold on, this is my shit.
Shit in the world. Safe travels, bro. Safe travels.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you more than welcome.
If you need
man.
any of those clean, can I
Hold
give
on,
you my
play
number?
another track.
If you need any of the songs, if you like any of them, I can get them cleaned up. I just didn't know what to send because I never know what to send. I sent 3 people. I don't know. It hits.
Send whatever, bro. Just send it.
Okay.
We play it. What you say, local rapper?
Yeah.
We play local. All I play,
Local, man.
all I play is indie music, bro. We do a festival every year. It's all indie artists. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, Trey, give me a hug real quick for you, leave, because I'm about to get that.
I'm around.
Bye, Trey. This is my song. Okay.
Send it to
I'm
me.
all up in it.
Send it to me.
Don't send this to nobody because I didn't release it.
I'll leave it.
I'm gonna call. My number's gonna come up, bro.
Okay.
Get it ready? Damn. This is Android. I swear to God, it says calling.
Let's forget the arguments, go take off, let me be your flight. I don't wanna stop no drama, tell them mama.
You can just send me a text.
I just did.
You did?
Okay.
That should go good.
That's it.
Thank you, D.Moss.
All right, bro.
Bye, Malay.
Bye.
Thank you.
You ready? You ready to get it? It's crazy. You know.
You see my hair get all messed up. Right, play it back, right, Michelle? Right, that's what I was saying.
This is dope.
Let's forget the arguments, go take off, let me be your flight. I don't wanna stop no drama, tell them mama I'm your right. If you a decision, let me be the one that you decide. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, Dallas killed this beat. My
What happened?
Dallas killed this beat. I
This
think
beat is crazy.
his name on Facebook is like Dallas Engine or something. But Dallas, he killed this beat.
You're live.
Boom.
90.7 WTCC, brand new music by my co-host, my little sis. That's NBS Malay. And dig it, y'all. This is Monday Night Live. We still going strong. Yo, I'm. You know what? I'm going to agree with Ashley for the first time tonight. If she was here, I wouldn't be talking as much junk. But since she ain't here, I'm talking junk
That's
about
my
it.
girl.
You definitely
I love
killed
her.
that beat. Yo, you
You
rolled
like
that bad.
it?
Yo, you
Thank
rolled that
you.
bad boy. You
Thank
rolled that
you,
bad boy.
Ash. I love you. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, because you know it means so much when y'all two give compliments.
But I'm biased because I'm a fan.
Y'all be real critical about
Nah, I'm biased because all your joints is great. I think this right here, like I said, I think it definitely replaced Making Me Goodbye as my favorite Malay joint.
I can't wait to release a video because when y'all see that, y'all gonna be like,
Is Ashley gonna be in the video?
I'm asking.
Ashley, you gonna be in the video?
That's my girl, so maybe she will.
Ah.
Maybe she will.
So you got some things you want to talk about tonight?
I do.
All right. Yeah, you
Play
said
one more
you
song.
do.
Play one more song.
One more song.
By somebody else or whatever. Oh, you know what I've been wanting to hear lately? Love is Law. That is my junk. I really been wanting to hear that lately. Carla did a party recently for her birthday, and Karina did perform. And I was so sad she didn't perform my song, but that's my song. Play that song.
This just in. Ashley Rodriguez says, just welcome. I'm biased as F to Malay is the best. And yes, she will be in the video. See, there we go. With that being said, everybody, this is background sounds of Karina Capri. Love this law, y'all. Dig it. Let's get it.
I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Nothing like the last one. I'll probably be your last one. Last night I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Trapped by emotions, yeah. Snaps all emotions. Can't find the closure. Wake up before you're over. You just wanna get by. Probably why you give up. The only time you ignite, I wanna come to show you something in this dim light. Nothing like the last one. I'll probably be the last one. Last night I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Nothing like the last one. I'll probably be the last one. Last night I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Now you're on the ocean. You should leave us rolling. A master of composure. In search of an owner. You just wanna get high. Cause you can't even get by. Every fire that you lit died. Love is all you need in this life. Nothing like the last one. I'll probably be the last one. Last night I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Nothing like the last one, yeah. I'll probably be the last one. Last night I fell into you fast, love. There ain't no looking back, love. Nothing's wonderful, and when the cards give it a chance, said you never love again. You're not alone. It's in the past.
You ready?
Yeah.
I had to play the whole thing, man.
I think I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
Because we don't even have much time.
All right, let's get it.
Let's get it popping.
90.7 WTCC FM. This is D.Moss and
MBS Malay.
show off.
I get it.
All right, y'all. So we got 30 minutes left. Let's get it. Couple of things I know you want to talk about tonight. What we talking about? Dig it. We live.
All right. So something I want to talk about first, and then you gotta come with the next topic.
Oh, I got something already.
But
I got something.
I wanted to talk about because I know we talked about going on friendship dates.
Yep.
I wanted to get into deeper about when you go into friendship dates and when your friend is looking for a second date, but a more serious one. How do you feel about that?
So you go on a friendship date, and the person you go on the friendship date with wants to go on another date, and they want to be serious. I don't know. It's like if you ain't digging them like that, then nah. It's like with anybody else. And there's people you cool with who want to take it to the next level, and it's just like, eh. So it's, I guess, pretty much the same thing.
I agree to an extent.
To an extent. So talk to me.
Only because I feel like sometimes I really don't believe in sacrificing. Oh, perfect. I don't believe in like really sacrificing your feelings for other people. I do believe in telling your true emotions so you can go from there or whatever. But I do believe that some people need time and they need to ease up on your idea of it, especially if they're your friend. So I don't know per se if it's wrong to still go on the friendship date but keep it friendly.
Is it possible?
Is it? Yeah, it's possible to keep it friendly, especially on your side. But should you is the question. Or should you just say no?
I think that goes back to the original conversation around friendship dates. Are they realistic? Because somebody's always going to catch feelings. Even if you're just hanging out, people want to hang out with folks for a particular reason. And there's always, whether people talk about their agendas or not, there's always an agenda.
So I agree with that to a certain extent. I don't believe that we always have an agenda. I believe that we have certain moments where we want somebody to be there, and then when we like sit and think about it and be like, all right, maybe this is just my emotions and my feelings. That's something that I had to sit back and realize, because I feel like I went on that first friendship date with the intentions of feeling like we could be something else in the future. So I know that date went differently than I knew.
So it wasn't a friendship date; it was an exploration date. There's a difference.
It was still a friendship date. I still kept it PG-13.
Yeah, you might have kept it PG-13.
They did too.
But it was still. You could have. I mean, just because nothing physical happened.
Exactly it. Yep. Go ahead, say it.
It was still exploration because you were still trying to determine whether or not, okay, this person is, that one. Someone that you can be with, chill with, spend time with, get intimate with.
Yeah.
So you're really exploring. It wasn't no friendship date.
I agree with that.
It was like a friendship. It was like a date with a mask on.
I agree with that. I agree with that because I know how that person feels about me. Mm-hmm. But when I went on the date, with my thought in the back of my mind. I'm going on this date, not only because they feel how they feel about me, but because I really like this person and I do want to see how they are in a romantic level.
Yep.
And then when I saw that romantic level, I'm like, I love the romantic level, but it's still not what I want. And I'm realizing that about myself. I'm learning a lot about myself that I'm just like, dang, I'm not only I don't feel like I asked for too much, but I just feel like it's just like, it's certain things that I just want from a friend and I just want from a relationship. And a lot of stuff is similar, but there's just other parts that I just feel like I need to be more connected to. And I know it doesn't make too much sense, but to other people it does. And I don't know. I really don't know. I'm still figuring it out.
I don't know. I say stop calling it a friendship date and just call it a date, because that's really what it is.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So the first date was the date that I felt like, all right, it was a friendship date, but it was the exploration date at the same time.
Yep.
But now this person wants more because they felt like that date was really good, But now I feel like, all right, it was really good, but I feel like I still just want to hang out with you on a friendship level.
So it wasn't all that good. It wasn't good enough to take it to.
No, it really was though. There was nothing wrong about the date. That it was like a perfect date.
But you walked away from it saying, yeah, I want to keep this simply platonic. We didn't really connect on that level. She cool, but not really what I'm looking for right now.
Okay.
So something didn't click. So I mean, if you want to keep it 100, it didn't go good.
All right, let me fill it out. Okay, let me fill it out. Yep. For 1 second before I say something.
Don't get yourself in trouble because
No, I won't, because I know that they're watching. I'm gonna fill it out for a second. All right. This is how I feel.
Tell us how you feel.
I feel like the date was really perfect. I feel like we got out the car, you opened the door, we went to, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want you to exactly know who I'm talking about.
You ain't got no details needed.
And not even just that. All right, so the date went perfect. Open the door, the everything that we did, it was just like so much fun, but it was like so much fun on a friendship level. It was like, oh my God, like I would do this with my girlfriends or my son and just be like, this is so great. Like I want to do it again, but I don't want to do it again on the level that you want to do it. I want to do it again on the level that I don't want to kiss you. I don't want to hug you. I just want to be like, oh, okay, this is fun. Like, let's do this again. Like, and it's really hard to express that to people. He's singing because he's bored.
No, I'm listening to you.
It's really,
Let's do it again.
Not yet, but it's really hard to express that to people and to continue on doing it the way that you want to do it in a friendship version, as opposed to the way that they want to do it. And it's just like, that really sucks. That really sucks on that part, because a lot of we could be closer friends and you could build like so much more when you could just be that vibe that you first connected with, as opposed to the vibe that you're looking for. So I really don't know if that makes sense.
Ashley says a friendship date is beautiful. However, shouldn't that be how anything begins? It starts with friendship.
Yes.
Friendship date sounds like a bunch of BS unless it's with my homies. If not, we are seeing what potential is present. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's why I love Ashley so much, because she always knows just what to say. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I really wish that there was people that we could connect to.
But think about how awkward it is.
Like that.
You go, I called one of my homies, my homegirls. I'm like, yo, let's go grab a cigar and a drink. We chilling, we having a good time. You know how awkward it is when I turn around and flip it and be like, yo, I'm really interested in you. Nah, you are. I mean, we're friends. We're cool. You know, so it's kind of like, I don't know. That's why I'm always like, friendship dates in. I'd rather just say I'm going to hang out with my friends rather than say, yeah, I'm going on a friendship date.
You know, that's what I was telling you before. You don't necessarily have to say that you're on a friendship date. It's the mentality.
I dig it.
And knowing that you're on a date with your friend.
Right. And if you're going on a date with your friends, you really shouldn't have any expectations other than we're about to have fun.
That's it, D.
That's where I'm going. That's
where I'm going. All right, so from the top, that's really all I was getting to.
Okay.
From the top, when we first started talking about friendship dates, this is really what it is. Like, even though you're feeling some type of way, I want to keep you at that level as a friend. But I do want you to understand at the same time that I just wanted to keep it there, even though you feel some type of way. But I don't want to go any deeper than, hey, we're just friends. And I don't want to have to explain that to you.
Okay.
Or to any friend. Like, it's just like, I don't want to tell you that you're just my friend. Like, fill out the vibe and just know that if I'm going to be all over you, I'm going to be all over you. But if it's going to be a friendship date, you're going to know what it is. And I won't lead you on any more than what it is.
The great philosopher, Ashley Rodriguez, once said, after a date, you can tell them you aren't interested. It's that simple. We all want communication, but do we have comprehension? Honesty, that's the key. That came from the philosopher.
I love Ashley. I love Ashley. I love.
And I agree with that 100%.
I do.
If somebody was your friend, you should be able to just come out and tell them, yeah, you know, that was cool, but you know, don't get it twisted. Let's not cross those lines because both of us aren't there.
Okay, so I agree, but I also feel like there's certain moments for it.
What do you mean? Explain.
All right, so I feel like after a friendship date or whatever people want to call it. There's just no moment to be like, hey, we're just friends, and I just want to keep it as just friends, and let's go on our next friendship date like this. There's no moment for it.
Well, like you said, I guess in that case, you shouldn't label it a friendship date. Yo, you got to hang out again. Yo, next time we hang out, let's do ABC. Not like, but to come out and say, yeah, I don't know if I want to go on another friendship date.
All right, so D, we never label it as a friendship date. I just want to clarify
No, I dig that. I'm just talking about what you just said.
No, I get it. But I feel like a lot of people don't know that it's just a friendship date. Like, cause like you could say, hey, I want to hang out. Like, let's go to a movie. Let's go to a bowling alley. Let's do this. Let's do that. Or whatever. And you know in your mind, all right, it's just a friendship date. We're just going out for this. We're just going out for that. And I don't know what's going to happen after that. All right, so boom. we don't know. We didn't establish it in the first place. So after that date or friendship date or whatever, we didn't label, we just went on it. There's no moment to be like, hey, it is what it is. Like, but let's do it again.
And it shouldn't be.
If that makes sense.
I mean,
yeah, it shouldn't be, but just like what you said, it's confusion if you don't say it.
If you're just friends, you should be going on. I mean, you go to hang out. There shouldn't be any expectations. If you really respect that friendship, there should be no expectations. If you have an alternative motive, you're only hanging out with that person because you want to get with her or him, whatever the case may be, then that should be upfront, because then you're not being transparent.
Right.
And the whole friendship date becomes BS. It's like putting on a mask so you can go hang out with somebody. If you're just hanging out, you're just hanging out.
I agree with it.
Okay.
I 100% feel like the same thing. But I also feel like what I just said, sometimes there's no moment for it. Sometimes after your first date or friendship date that you didn't even label what it is because you just was like, oh, I had such a good time, I'm going to do it again. Sometimes the next day pops up or the next 2 days pops up and be like, and then your friend or whoever it was be like, yo, let's go out to so-and-so, so-and-so. You don't have no time to be like, all right, I just want to let you know that this is not,
but
you know?
And again, you shouldn't even have to get to the point where
I feel that too.
All right, let me go to the sideline.
Say that. I'm sorry.
What's up, Jordan Malone?
What's up,
my man Halisi Moyle?
What's up,
my brother from another mother says,
Twait.
I don't know why he said twait, but anyways, he says in reference to you, didn't you say at the beginning that you wanted to see what could possibly be?
Yeah.
And now you don't want it to be no more. He's lost.
Yeah.
Then that philosopher Ashley Rodriguez said, "You make the moment." So she's so philosophical. I dig her.
Keep going, dude.
I dig her. So many people are so scared to speak their truth. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells.
Yes. Sorry,
I had fun, but I won't ride your face. Let's make that clear.
Yes.
Ride your face.
Yes.
What's that mean?
I'm about to tell you right now. So I want to refer to what your first friend said.
What Halisi said.
Halisi?
Didn't you say, yeah?
Oh, Halisi. Okay.
He said
that's my guy. Halisi.
Yeah, you said at the beginning,
yes,
you wanted to see what could be. So
okay.
You explored. If you thought what could be could absolutely be, then it'd be a little different. Don't you think?
I want to say something to that. So Halisi, I love you, Halisi. I just want to say that for the moment. Okay?
I don't love you, Halisi.
I do. I do, Halisi Moyo. I love you. All right. So for that moment, yes, I would say how I feel in that moment for that friendship, what it is, what it was, and what it could be. Yes. But it's like you don't even feel that moment until you're with that person. Like, it's like, you know what the vibe is and what the feeling is when you first meet that person and when you first vibe with that person. But it's like, you don't know what you truly feel until you hang out with that person. That's why I be telling people sometimes I don't like to hang out with a person after I see their artist craft, because sometimes I know that I'm not going to like who that person is after their artist craft. I just like to know who they are as a person, because when you see some people, it's like, dang, I really just liked you as an artist. And now that I see who you really are, it's like, dang, I don't even like you anymore.
Oh, there's a whole lot of artists.
A lot of people.
There's a whole lot of cats I can't rock with. After the show,
exactly.
I'm like, here's your money, bye, peace.
And you don't want to talk to them anymore.
It's a business still.
And I really hate feeling that, because I like keeping people for how they are, and I like feeling them for how they are, and I hate seeing another side to them. You know what I'm saying? But when I give them that opportunity and that chance to see who I am as a person and to dig who they are as a person, it's like when I finally feel it, I don't want to sit here and come out and be like, yo, I don't like you as a person. I just want to keep the vibe for how it is and just see them again in person for their performance. But I don't want to sit here and be like, hey, me and you is not meant to be together, only because I don't never expect to go on a second date unless they request it. And when they request it, it's just like, dang, I don't know what to say, because I don't want to go on a second date with you, but I'll avoid it as much as possible. If that makes sense. I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
The crazy part is, if it's a friendship date, then it's not really a date.
Yeah. Thank you. I agree.
Neither party should come in with expectations. Like you said, you came in wondering, you were inquisitive about whether or not it could be more than that. So you had, whether you say it out loud or not, you came into it with an expectation. They did. So that was no friendship thing. That was a first date.
Okay.
I don't care how long y'all knew each other.
Okay.
It was simply a first date. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think people need to be clear. When I was dating, I don't wear a mask. I'm like, either I'm digging you or I'm not. And I'm telling you what my intentions are from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, you could be like, yay or nay. And that's it. And I just think people need to be very, very, very clear with each other. You can't, and I'm not talking about you, I'm saying
no, I get it.
You can't go on that date and then be like, I have a problem because now this person really wants to date me. Then just tell the person we were on the first date, ish did not work out. It is what it is. Because then it leads right to the question I was going to ask. I guess the topic I was going to get on, why do people cheat? Because what you don't want to do is feel obligated to be in a relationship.
If you didn't feel it in the first place.
And you ain't feeling the first place.
Can I say something before we get deep into that? Because that's another topic.
Yep.
I wanted to get into that because I feel like when we first meet people and when we first go on like friendship dates or whatever, we don't necessarily know if we're going to try to be interested in that person or if we're trying to like that person. I feel like we're just going to fill out the situation because you just met the person and you just want to see what they like.
Right.
And so I get it. But when you go on that friendship date, you're not trying to call it a date. But when you go on that first meet, first impression, what's up? It's like, dang, I don't know what to expect. And now after it, this is what I got out of the gist of it.
There's only two ways to come out of it. Either A, this shit was dope.
Yeah.
I can't wait for y'all.
Right.
Man, I want to tear her clothes off.
Right.
Or you come out like, they cool. I know what. I think I'm going to introduce her to my man, Halisi.
Yes.
She a little.
Okay. All right. I get it.
So,
I agree with it 100%.
But it definitely means that both parties have to be 100% transparent.
And I definitely believe that at first,
even
everybody doesn't believe or doesn't know what they're entering into.
But that's why you got to be transparent. Bottom line is, okay, well, let's go bowling. That's cool. I'm down with bowling, but are we just bowling, or you have something else in mind?
So that's what I was thinking. So the initial reaction, I believe that we both, even if we're communicating about it, I don't believe that we both have the same idea of our first interaction. I feel like one of us probably believes that it's a friendship date, and one of us probably believes that it's just, even if we have clarification in it, I just believe that one of us has a different idea of what the first interaction was, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It goes back. Halisi says, I guess my question should have been, was the intention pure from the beginning? Which is why you guys got the outcome that you got.
Mm-hmm.
Question, it's really a matter of what was the intention when you got dressed at the beginning of the night. What was the intention?
All right. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Initially, I feel like I'm sorry, I'm not trying to throw it out there.
I'm listening to you.
But I feel like initially we both, even if it's just us asking what it is, some of us just really have a question in the back of our mind what it is, but we don't want to ask the question. But we're just like, we're going to go into it and just get our own idea of it.
And it goes into that, what we've been talking about for almost a whole year.
Yeah.
It ends up turning into a red flag situation.
Red flag situation.
There's a flag on the plate. and that joint is red as hell.
That is it.
Yeah,
all right. Flag. D. So the red flag goes into relationships. It goes into friendships. It goes into family.
Yeah, real.
It's not just a relationship.
Right.
You know the red flags goes into everything.
If you and I, we're friends.
Yeah.
You cool. I call you my little sis. Okay. So we have a relationship. We cool. Ain't one of them intimate, like, let me see what's under the gear type. We have a relationship because we cool. There's mutual respect and a mutual understanding. We friends. We tight as
and we already know that.
But we friends. But it's different if we know that, and the whole time I'm thinking, man, I can get her at the crib, get her a little tipsy, find out what she's really thinking. Then we don't, because the bottom line is both parties aren't going into it 100% transparent. Yes. Then it's some BS.
But I feel like in that moment, I feel like we both know what to expect. I feel like when we have certain interactions, like, like certain people, like they feel on a certain person a certain way, or they'll talk to a person a certain way, and that's when you know if a person bit on your bite, like on your cast. Bit on your cast. Like, you know how when you throw out a fish line and you have a worm on it and somebody bites it, like, you know, you throw out certain things to get a person interested in you. And you know when they give you a certain interaction, if that is what you're supposed to go with or what's your next move. So what I'm saying is when you are interested in a person, you do certain things. So like when you're friendships and you're just trying to figure out if they're just your friend, you'll act a certain way, and a person will bite a certain way, and a person will respond a certain way, which is what I mean by bite. And then you'll see what the interaction is. And I feel like that's when we all come into not even communication, because I know it's weird. It's a weird communication when you're first trying to interact with somebody or whatever. Okay. But when you first interact with people, when you're trying to see if they're interested in you or whatever, you know how to act. Right. And that's how you find out if a person is your friend, if they're your sex buddy, if they're your lover, or if they are nothing and they're just a conversationalist. That's me. But I feel like everybody interprets things a different way. And I feel like when we interact certain ways, you feel it.
I mean, I think I agree with what you're saying to an extent. I think you're accurate. But it's kind of, again, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like people need to take off the mask, because I don't think it should be a guessing game. Yeah. You know, it's like, yo, we cool. I'm like, the whole time, we cool. You got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Yo, we cool. Knowing damn well I'm waiting for an opportunity. I'm throwing out a little slide in your windows. And we do the little subtle flirtation thing. Like, yo, girl, look at your little fly girl. You about to make a brother think twice about you.
I get it.
Flirtation.
I get it.
And you feed into it. We go back and forth, which means as long as there's that 1% probability that, you might just be interested. Yeah, we keep hanging out. We'll always be cool. Then there's some people, it's just naturally plutonic. Like, man, I wouldn't play her just like I wouldn't play a guitar. It just is what it is.
But you just know it because you feel the vibe and you feel what it is.
Yep.
And you feel the interaction. So that's really what I'm getting to, is the communication to it. Right. And not just jumping into a situation and feeling like you know what it is.
But it also means that in terms of communication, both parties have to be 100% transparent.
I agree.
No mask.
I agree 100%.
Okay, so we understand. Look at that. Me and Malay is agreeing. So.
And we never freaking fully agree. So.
We agree 100%. That's why I had a problem when you first brought, friendship dates. I was like, friendship dates. I don't know about all that. Because people have ulterior motives. There are people who hang around with people. I'm gonna be your friend. Just in case you break up with your significant other, I want to be right there.
And we never fully freaking.
We cool, we laugh, we joke, but it's kind of like I get, I'm your friend, but I'm getting a little jealous. I thought you got to, you already in a relationship, or somebody new come along and start flirting. I get a little attitude, slight attitude, like, yo.
That's it.
We ain't really friends. It's just I ain't nothing but a predator in waiting.
Oh my
That's all
God.
I'm saying. That's my thing. If we want to keep it real,
I absolutely agree with it. With it.
Hold up. That philosopher, Ashley Rodriguez.
That's my friend, because she knows exactly how to land it.
I think it's so simple. Just speak the truth. Exactly. I'm agreeing with Ashley. Check that out. Just speak the truth. I network with people all the time. However, prior to and after the engagement of any sort, I express what it is and what my intentions are. Intention, all caps.
Yes.
It's everything. Like, hey, I am interested. We should go out. Then maybe again and see how it goes. Or, hey, I like your vibe, but it's platonic for me. I didn't have that spark I desired. What can they say? If they don't respect that, F them. She said a little differently. I won't pursue anything further, period, even as friends. If a person can't be transparent with themselves and accept another's honesty, they need to be alone anyhow. They can keep all that immaturity over. I agree. Keep your negative energy. Keep that.
And keep it over to yourself, because nobody wants to deal with it.
Well, people got to be 100 with each other, man. I don't want to sound a little kid like 100, but you got to keep it 100. Because if not, it's like if you there exploring and I'm exploring, don't get mad at me when I'm like, yo, you passed my test. And you're like, yeah, but I'm not exploring anymore because you failed mine. Nah, intention. Both parties came out saying, I wonder if this shit could get taken to the next level. Well, people got to be honest, man. And I agree 100% with Ashley. If I go out with somebody, I'm gonna let them. If I got friends, I'm letting you know. I've told people. Now we go in the poetry world. Nah, I know I do. I love poems, but I ain't single.
I 100%.
If are you interested? I ain't interested. You know, it's just you gotta put it out there and let people know. If you don't, then you just as bad as the people as the person you're talking about. And I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in general.
I 100% agree.
Ashley says, I tell people all the time, stop having expectations and start experiencing. Yo, live in the moment. Live in the moment, man. Experience it.
If you're not living in the moment, did you just? I actually spilled it on myself. Don't tell people. We just told the whole freaking 90. I 100% agree with it though. Like 100%. Like with Ashley because she knows. So like
I'm gonna mess her name up. Yo, this seems like such a dope name.
Who?
Savanda Letray.
Oh, Savanda's dope.
Transparency is key. Most of the time, you know people's intentions. You know people's intentions after the first few conversations. Yo, sometimes after the first 5 minutes, the way they be staring, if they it's on mine. If they staring at you and they're looking at you with that side eye, like yo, the right light, girl.
Right.
Yo, you look like Beyonce.
I know. Especially if you're wearing the right color hair.
Yo,
it's like, oh. Like, that's exactly what I thought. Like, yes.
But when the lights turn on, come on, and all of a sudden you ain't interested no more. It's like, yeah, just be 100. Yo, I was interested, but
you
I
messed
just
it
don't
all
like
up.
the way, yo, when you drink, you start slowing. I can't get with that. But when you do A, B, and C, I feel uncomfortable. And people need to learn to do that. Use I statements. I don't like it when A, B, dot. I was interested. But I am not anymore. You need to understand that
because you did this, and then it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, some people may get upset about it, but it's kind of like I'm with Ashley. Yo, keep your immaturity to yourself. Let's not go there. If you can't handle what I'm telling you, you brought it to me, and I'm responding. And this
if
is
you
what
can't
it
handle
is.
it's like, all right, I've had enough of it, and I've had enough of walking on your eggshells to try to understand it. So, like, I absolutely agree with it. And I absolutely agree with Ashley.
All my wine.
I know, and I spilled some a little bit, but
so I mean, so when it comes out to friendship dates,
for me.
I just think people need to understand if we're friends, yo, straight up, we're friends. There are boundaries, there are perimeters that friends
and
don't cross.
It's hard to explain it sometimes.
No, it's not. It's basically just letting people know, you good, yo, we cool, right? Yeah, I'll hang out with you, but I just need you to know we're just cool.
And it's no more than that.
And the other thing is, if you're unsure about whether or not y'all that kind of platonic cool, you ain't got no business going on a friendship date anyway.
Because really, what is it? Really?
Yeah, that's the ulterior.
If you have to sit here and keep questioning it, and keep like trying to tell you what it really is, like it's just like, what's the point in the friendship date?
People tell you who you are, what they doing. Shout out to my man Trevor Pitts. What's good? So
yo, shout out to Trevor because Trevor.
Shout out to Kenny Coop. But I don't know. I think where you're coming from. Like I said, I think the notion of friendship dates is cool. That's a slick way to try and determine whether or not you want to be with somebody or not. I think that's like the back door.
Pretty much.
But again, I also believe that
it is the back door.
Listen, man, I'm an a-hole 200% of the time.
You are not an a-hole.
I'm not, but yeah, I could be.
You're not an a-hole.
So I mean, I think it's cool just letting people know exactly who you are from Jump Street. So there's no expectations. I told you about I'm an a-hole. When I roll up and my car is on E.
That doesn't mean anything necessarily.
And I got money in my account. It's just so you know I am not going to be spending a lot of money. You be like, let's go to Max's, and I'm like,
it's the friendship day because of this.
Let's go to Max's. No, let's go to Applebee's. They got this special at 2 for $20.
Max's, and it's just like,
if you want to have fun,
let me tell you,
man, please.
Because it's not like that or what you think it is. So like,
I don't know. I don't believe in friendship dates. I just think that's BS. If we friends, then we just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm starting to
slowly
get up on it, and I'm starting to truly realize it is for what it is, and it's just like, dang, like, it's really hard to explain, and not even just explain. It's really hard to just like maintain.
Yeah, that's people. I don't know. I think
especially because you're trying to figure out where you're going for the second part. And
friendship dates are like people trying to date without dating. Nah, we just friends. We gotta go bowling.
I agree.
We just friends. Let's go hang out. And see what happens.
I absolutely agree with that.
That's something dude tell my daughter, nah. I don't want to be your boyfriend. I want to be your friend. Let's go out on dates. And if anything happens,
it's a friendship.
Happens. Nah, bro, she ain't going out tonight.
Bye.
If you friends, her anatomy shouldn't matter. Her cute little smile shouldn't matter. You just cool like that. Other than that, it's like, what's
That's
the purpose
really what
of
it is.
If you respect the friendship, why bother taking it to the next level?
Because why? Why are we continuing to make it a thing if it's not a thing?
Right. So I mean, that's where I'm going with that. So
and it's past 12 anyway. So
it is past 12, but so I want to ask you a question. In relationships, wow, finish that glass. Why do people cheat?
They cheat because they're not happy in the situation that they're in. Because, in my opinion, people grow every day. People change every day. And people don't realize that the person but people don't think about that the person that they're in a relationship with, they've been with for the past 12 years. So the person that they are now is not the same person they was 10 years ago. So I feel like people cheat because they cheat with the person that they feel like knows them at the moment or in the moment.
That's a good one.
If it makes sense.
No, that made a whole hell of a lot of sense.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious about the folks, for the folks who are listening on the radio or watching on Facebook or YouTube. I heard what she said, and I agree 100%. Why do people cheat? If you're cheating in a relationship, if you know people who have cheated in relationships, there are some reasons why people will make that decision to ruin their lives, other people's lives, and cheat. But I agree with you. I think, oh my God, I think that was a dope way of summing it up. People want to be with someone who identify with them, understand them, or know them right there in the moment.
For the moment. I like the identify word because I didn't say that right. Identifies with them in the moment. Because the person changes all the time. I like that, the identify word because I didn't use that. Identify in the moment is the words for it because it changes.
Let's see.
So it's a conversation for next time because I know we're gonna get a lot of people that talk about it.
I just want to read these comments. I'm digging.
I'm with it.
Ashley, I dig Ashley. I think she's so
That's
dope.
my girl.
I tell people all the time, stop having expectations and start experiencing. Yep, just be honest. Savannah said transparency is key, going back to the previous topic. Most of the time, people's intentions after the first few conversations. My man, Kenny Coop. What's up, Coop? As he is in the house. Coop. He said, LOL, no such thing as a friendship date. If you and I are going out, it's one of two things. I want to get to know you better, or I will spend $1 to hear you holler.
Thank you.
Amen to church. Say amen.
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 Ashley says, why do people cheat? Because they are little vaginas. But I like vaginas.
All right. Yo, I'm with it, but we're gonna talk about it next show.
You'll be back Monday after next.
D will still be on here next Monday, so tune in to 9.7. But I'll be back with D on the week after that.
Ashley says, if you are at a place of needing to cheat, walk away from your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I agree 100%. Let people know, listen, man, this is where I'm at right now. And I'm just, for your benefit and mine, this isn't where I need to be. Mm-hmm. And it's a difficult conversation to have. It really is a difficult conversation. But to let someone know that, you and I'm just not really connecting. But what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. We're in two different spaces and places.
Thank you.
And I think it's an honest conversation. Savannah says they cheat because, Savannah, let me know if I'm saying your name wrong.
No, you're saying it right. That's my girl.
Cheat because they are not satisfied.
Yes.
Ashley says, again, honesty, period. I think people need to be honest and let people know. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you cross that line, say, I do, you married, whatever the case may be. It's kind of like, honest conversations, man. You don't have to lie. The bottom line is, there are just too many red flags.
Yes.
And if your partner is really paying attention, they're going to see the red flags. All of a sudden, Malay got her hair going to the side this way. All of a sudden, she wears it this way.
Right.
And the jackets
It's a whole
change
nother
and-
way. It's because y'all don't understand.
Right. It's like, there are flags anyway. So, what's done in the dark, as the old people used to say, what's done in the dark will come to light. So it's like honesty is everything. Transparency is. Did you just drink mine?
Yeah.
You just drank my wine.
Yeah, I did high five.
It's 100% transparent that you drank my.
I know.
You drank my Kool-Aid. We're not drinking right now.
We're gonna agree to disagree right now that I drank your wine. But yeah, guys, November 1st, come to Speak and Eat because Ashley's gonna be there.
Hold on.
And we're gonna have dope as New York artists. So
I know you gotta go, but check peep this.
I don't have to go. I don't have to go. Go ahead. I just want to clarify that.
Yo, I love her.
This is my spot.
Alicia says, when the partner is doing everything required by the other, why do people still cheat? And that's what we're asking. Ashley replied to Halisi, when the partner is doing everything required by the other, why do people still, dang, it went off them, I can't see it. They aren't being honest with themselves. Agree.
Yeah.
What about when their other lives, yeah, what happens when the other lives involved are children? Y'all together, y'all have kids, and all of a sudden somebody, you get, I don't know, man. Why
the only thing I have to say to that is you don't have to co-parent. I mean, you have to co-parent, but you don't have to be the best freaking mother or father to be the significant parent. I feel like you can be co-parenting and you don't have to be the 100% person. Like, we're not all perfect and we can't all be the best mother or father that the government wants us to be or that you expect us to be, but we can still be the best parent that this child expects or the best parent that this child deserves without your expectations, if that makes sense. We don't have to be the mother or father that you want us to be, but we can be the best parent that this child needs.
And I think people need to understand that your commitment is to your children.
Thank you.
If more so than anything
You
else.
have to say that again.
Your commitment in a relationship is really to your children.
Thank you.
Now, Scientific American says cheating is the ultimate relationship violation and a notorious relationship killer. A favorite gossiping pastime, the phenomenon is frequently discussed but difficult to study.
Yeah.
The goal is to avoid getting caught, so why confess infidelity in the name of science?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. There's a million reasons why they know. Oh my God. Why do people cheat?
They cheat because they're not satisfied with.
But at what point do you have that honest? I mean, how hard is it really that difficult to have an honest conversation with your significant other and say, "Listen, I'm not." Why is it because people have like
because
dependency
people don't
issues?
Understand. Yes.
Is it dependency issues?
Yes.
Like Malay, well, why'd you cheat? Well, because in case person A doesn't work out, I need to make sure that you're still in my life. So I have somebody.
I don't think that that's right.
So talk to me.
I feel like people, they're learning different today.
When you say they're learning different.
I feel like me and you, we learn in the ways that we're supposed to learn. Yep. I feel like we learn people and how they are and how we not want them to be, but like we grow up with these expectations in the church. And we grow up with these expectations that we learned from people that we grew up with. But when we come across these people, we know how to separate and we know how to look for what we need.
Yep.
If it makes any sense, because I feel like we grew up differently because we grew up in the church.
But I've seen people.
And we grew up with different people.
But I've seen preachers in the church cheat on their wives after preaching sermons.
Exactly.
Kenny Coop says, honest conversations are hard to have. Many people don't appreciate the honesty. D, like you said, it's a difficult conversation.
They don't.
Ashley says, you spill energy onto them. I want my child to seek happiness. No one should be willing to sacrifice their peace to anyone. No, they are vaginas. Period. Ashley says it's as simple as I can't even be honest with myself. How can I be honest with you? And I think, Ashley, I think you capped it right there in terms of relationships. I think some people have a difficult time being honest with themselves. They make up a million excuses to do the most heinous things possible in a relationship. And they'll lie to themselves and justify it. They'll surround themselves with people who support their whack excuses or explanations as to why they do things. And they keep doing it, and they feel justified in doing so. I don't know. I just think that's crazy. I just think people need to have honest conversations. Where will they go? They need to have honest conversations with themselves. I think ending a relationship, the communication required in terms of ending a relationship is just as critical as the communication that you have at the beginning of a relationship. People need to be transparent, take off that mask, and tell people what you're really feeling and what you're really thinking. I mean, when it's over, it's over. And it's like, you shouldn't have to suffer through a relationship you're not really feeling.
Yeah.
You know, some folks would rather be alone and deserve to be alone. But it's like, why take everybody else down with you?
Exactly.
You know, you can still take care of your kids, do what you need to do, but
And
bow out the relationship and say it's not working.
Thank you. I absolutely agree.
So, I mean, that's where I'm at with
I'm
that.
not against that at all.
Let's see, we still got more. It's as simple as I can't be on. Okay. Mona says, Mona Jordan reasons because people make themselves available to do so with them no matter who they're destroying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Halisi says accountability and responsibility is a requirement of being a man or a woman. Personal responsibility is everything, man. Knowing that you have to hold, you know, at the end of the day, if you can't hold yourself accountable, you don't need to be in a relationship.
Yep.
You know, personal responsibility is everything. Ashley says, next time I come on, we are talking about self-love, self-honesty, and how lacking that impacts every aspect of your life. Ashley, you have an appointment. Let's do that. Halisi says self-awareness is also a requirement of having any good. Don't cut me off, man.
No, I'm just saying, I'm sorry.
I just want to be honest with you,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm agreeing with you.
Now, self-awareness is also a requirement of having any good, great relationship. So, this is Monday Night Live, D.Moss, MBS, Malay.
Yes.
We're here every Monday night. Malay is with us every other Monday, only because she has to run one of the region's hottest. Ooh,
I like how he said that because I'm going to clip that and bring it back.
You know, in the region, she runs Malay's Speaking Neat.
Speaking Neat open mic.
It's the open mic. It's really dope. The talent comes from all over the place. Otherwise, she would be with us on a weekly basis.
I really would, because y'all know I've been here since October last year.
We appreciate her when she's with us, and when she's not, we miss her. But the conversation still goes on.
It really does continue. 90.7 FM.
So we'll be here next Monday. We are past our time. It's after midnight, and it's time to go.
30 minutes past.
Make sure you tune in. Matter of fact, Ashley, if you ain't doing nothing, since Malay's not gonna be here next week, why don't you step in, take that seat, and let's have these conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
90.7 FM.
Woo!
90.7.
Where we at? Pow! And we're back. Okay. So let's see. Did I miss anything? Speaking Eat. Mona says she wasn't with us when the chef came down. She's here now, baby. Yeah. I gotta come through. Savannah, feel free to come through anytime.
Savannah's dope. I love
we have an open door policy. We only ask that you keep it real, keep it 100. And let's get down and have the dope conversations. So with that being said, peace, everybody. Much love, much peace, much respect. It's 12:30 a.m. Get some sleep, get some rest. If you're at work, y'all continue to work hard. We out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
D.